What is up, everyone? I hope everyone is having a great day so far. It's me, International Passport, for another classic. Shout out to my old subscribers and shout out to my new subscribers. Thank you, everyone, for the support so far. So, in this live stream, I have a very special guest called Tony Berry, and Tony Berry will be giving us the mega breakdown about living in Japan and ultimately dating Japanese women. So before I go any further in the live stream, I want to say a huge thank you to the panel guests in yesterday's live stream. That was an awesome live stream having those Costa Rican women break down dating in Costa Rica and brothers moving out there to establish a life out there. And now I'm going to hand over the mic to the legendary Tony Berry. What's up, Tony? Can you please introduce yourself to everyone in the panel, please?
Yes. Hey, what's up, brothers? This is Tony Berry, man. Hey, yeah, I'm out here in the Seattle area. I'm originally from Philly. Man, I know a lot about Japan. I spent more than 11 years living in Japan twice, and I've been back and forth a lot of times. I got family in Japan. I'm married to a Japanese woman. I'm going to give you guys the big intel on Japan, brother. Trust me, when this is done, you're going to be wanting to live there.
God damn.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, bro. I'm going to go straight into it. So the woman will come second in the stream. I want to just speak to you about why you actually moved to Japan. So give us a breakdown on your background and what made you move to Japan. And we'll start with there, bro.
Yeah, so ever since I was a little kid, man, I used to watch the Ultraman program. I mentioned this before. And, I watched all these Japanese programs. I fell in love with this little Japanese girl that was on Ultraman. I was like, man, she's kind of cute. I've never seen anybody look like that before. When you're 6 years old, man, you don't know what's up. Well, ever since then, I got that bug in me, man, to go to Japan. My grandmother gave me a nice book called Shogun that I read about, man, that I must have read it about 1,000 times. And the whole time, man, I'm just gearing up. I want to go to Japan. So I joined the Air Force when I was 17, right out of high school, man, went to the Air Force. And my whole goal was to get to Japan. I didn't care about nowhere else. But I had to go to Korea first. And then I get back to the States and I finally get to go to Japan. But I got to go to Okinawa, where there's like a lot of like military everywhere, man. So I wasn't really too happy there. I mean, the dating was okay. I heard it's better now, but it wasn't good then. And I got out of the service. I came back to Seattle because I never lived in Seattle before. So I wanted to check out the scene because, in fact, I followed one of my students here, a Japanese girl that moved up here. So I followed her up here. And I noticed there was a lot of Japanese girls in the Pacific Northwest, and there still are. And so I got bored, man, after 2 years and moved to mainland Japan. And I lived in 3 prefectures in Japan, guys. I lived in Okinawa, of course. I was there 7 years. And then I lived in a place called Mie-ken, which I'll tell you a little bit about that, in a city called Matsuzaka. And then I lived in Osaka for more than 3 years. And I've been to 19. Japan has 47 prefectures. I've been to 19 of those prefectures, fellas. So I've been all over Japan from Aomori to Okinawa, man, the tip. I've been to Kyushu. I've been everywhere but Hokkaido, and that's next on my list. So that's the breakdown right there from a year.
Awesome, brother. So tell us how it was how it was for you living in Japan as a black man. How were you treated in general, like in terms of you applying for jobs, racism, or things in general? What was it like as a black man living in a country where the demographics are majority Japanese?
Yes, for me it was beautiful. Everybody used to call me Mr. Japan because my birthday is the same day as Japanese Foundation Day, man, which is crazy. It's ironic, but it's the same day. So here's the thing. I'm going to touch base on like 2 different scenarios here because I've experienced 2 different scenarios living in Japan twice. The first time I lived in Japan as a military person. The second time I lived in Japan, which was the best time, I lived in as a civilian. I was working for Japanese companies. So I'll give you a breakdown on that. But first, let me touch base on the difference between living there in the military and living there as a civilian. So when you get there in the military, whether, Japan has quite a few military bases, for the U.S. I mean, we literally took the country over after World War II, and we kept most of our forces there. The big yard, the big base, we call it yard. American English, we call it yard, but it's a base. You got the big connections. You got Kadena Air Base in Okinawa with all the Marine bases, Army bases. You got the big Yokosuka Navy base up in Yokohama area. You got Yokota up there, like a little bit west of Tokyo. You got Iwakuni, which is out there, around Hiroshima area. And then you got Sasebo, which is another Marine base, Navy base that's down there in Kyushu near Nagasaki. And then you have a nice base, man, up there in Misawa and Aomori, which is like an out of the way place. And you don't have to be in the military to go to any of these places. You can hang out and you can explore and you can just branch out from either one of these places. But let me get back to the military thing. So living there as a military is different. The women around the base, they have a high body count. So, when if you're in the military, you're stationed there, you're gonna get stationed there, whatever you do, don't marry the women around the base. Yeah, hang out, have a good time, bring them on the club, sign in, sleep with them, whatever you want to do. But after a while, you're gonna want to venture out because those women, they have a high body count, man. They know all about brothers. They love brothers. Trust me, I've seen them lined up for blocks to get on the base because nobody was there to sign them in. So, you got to sign a girl on base to get on base. And you could roll up, man. I used to roll up and I'd sign 3 or 4 or 5 of them, as many as I can on the yard, man. And trust me, by the end of the week, you slept with every last one of the ones you signed on. And then some. That's how it is, man, when you're in the military there. You go through your experiences. You feel like you live in the States sometime because of the drama you're getting from the girls who are dating a lot of the military guys. But then you start to get used to it, but then you want more. You want to explore more. So the best thing for you to do is, which I'm going to talk based on about the second part, is you get out of the service and you go to a place where there aren't any military installations. Like the big cities like Osaka, like Tokyo, anywhere you want to go in Japan. You go there, and that is a totally different experience.
Okay, brother. This is fantastic intel so far. Before we actually delve into dating Japanese women and getting more into it, speak about job opportunities there for Black men.
Yes.
Exactly. So, what industries are good for Black men to work in that can earn them a lot of money? And speak about having a business there in Japan. Is it easy to open up a business? What's popping there for brothers out there, professional jobs? Speak on that, Tony.
Yes, and Japan is wide open for brothers. Trust me, it's wide open. It wasn't as open when I first got there back in the late 80s, early 90s, but now it's just opening up, man. I mean, I give you an example. I was in Japan. I saw this brother working at McDonald's. I mean, I know that's a little job for them, but still, you would have never known. You never seen that before. Also, business opportunities are abundant for Blacks. I mean, you look at some of the YouTube videos out there. So I know some people over there. This one brother, he has a lodge. He spent like 60 grand to buy this lodge in the countryside, a ski lodge. He owns a ski lodge over there. That's how he's able to live there. He has a business. He runs the business. He treats the Japanese treat him nice. As far as job opportunities, of course, you can get the standard English teaching job, or you can be like a Belver like me. I'm a software engineer. Theo mentioned touch base on this. If you're in the finance, there's a lot of companies in Japan that are looking for people to work there, like for an American company, or, to me, that's the best way to do it, is to work for an American company when you go to Japan, because you're going to get treated like you're living still in the States, but you're going to be on an American schedule, weekends off. They're not going to try to work you to death, things like that. For me, in my experience, before I continue on to the jobs, I got there and I was in grad school, man, in the University of Washington, and nobody was getting any jobs. And I dropped out after a couple semesters. I jumped on a plane, man. I had a little suitcase with me. I jumped on a plane. I read a book about teaching English in Japan. I got on the airplane, man, went to Tokyo, gave myself 2 weeks to find a job, found a job in 3 days, partied the rest of the time, and started working after that. And it was crazy. So there's a lot of those jobs there. Now, the English jobs, they're drying up. They don't pay as much. There's a lot of apps out there. There's a lot of things going on where people can easily get online, virtual, and do virtual English lessons and things like that. What's good about teaching English, though, is all you need to do in any job is have a college degree. You got a college degree, you step in Japan, you can get a job. You can get a working visa. As long as you get a job, you're there, you're good. So it's not hard to get a job for you. I got lucky because I work in the English teaching world, but I did work for a company, the first company I worked for in Japan for a year, where I got the experience being treated like a Japanese salary man. So that was a really good experience, but at the same time, it was a mind-blowing experience for me working in that environment. And I'm sorry.
Carry on, brother. Carry on.
So what I'm getting is, so here's what happened. So like I said, I got to Tokyo. I gave myself 2 weeks to find a job. I found a job in 3 days. I was on a bullet train, the Shinkansen is what they call it in Japan, to Nagoya, which is between Osaka and Tokyo. So Nagoya is about an hour and a half from Tokyo. I got there, I had a job interview, man. I walked in. I only spoke a little bit of Japanese at the time, but I remember walking in the interview, man, and I was like, hey, konnichiwa, getting this guy, I was speaking some polite Japanese, and the guy was impressed. He's like, whoa, you can speak some Japanese? I said, yeah, I speak a little. Well, I didn't know that when I got back to the US to get the rest of my stuff to go back to Japan to start teaching for this company, I thought I was going to be teaching in Nagoya, which is roughly a city of over 1 million people, like 1.5 million, people everywhere, man. It's a nice little town, a big town. And so I get there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be teaching in Nagoya. Well, I was in Seattle. And the guy called me from the head office, which was in a place called Owase in Mieiken, which is a prefecture south of where Nagoya is. And he said, hey, man, we got a managerial job for you in a place called Matsuzaka, which is famous for Matsuzaka beef. Now, I'd never heard of this city or nothing like that, but he said he had something for me. And he asked me, hey, you want to be a manager? We can, hook you up there and make you a full-time employee, which was unheard of. Because, usually you go there, you're like what they call a keiyaku shain, which is like you sign a 1-year contract and you just keep renewing your contract. Well, this guy was so impressed with my Japanese. And keep in mind, now I'm a black man, but there's no inhibitions. He didn't care about my color. He didn't care about nothing. He just knew I had some skills and I could speak the language. So I ended up going to this little town, and I think there's like 140,000 people in that city. And I was blown away because it was like totally different from what you see on TV in Japan, like the big cities, the Tokyo, all of that, the subways, the women everywhere, the parties everywhere. It wasn't like that, man. It was a small town and it was mainly all locals. And so we had a little small expat community at the school I taught at. And I managed a small staff of like 4 or 5 English teachers. But what I was doing and what my experience was with this Japanese company was I'd have to get up at 5:30 every day, or 4 or 5 o'clock every day, actually. And the guy would come up from the head office, which was an hour south by train, pick me up, we'd go to Kyoto, we go to Nara, we go to Osaka. I was doing demo lessons for the school. And then I have to get back on the train with this guy and come back home and then get ready to teach my afternoon classes, which went from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night. So I was literally putting in 16, 17-hour days, 5 days a week, sometimes 6, depending on, what they needed. I'd have to go down to the head office a lot, drive down there, do business down there with the boss. They put me up in a hotel. I'd meet more expats. They train me on management, all these kind of things in Japanese. I mean, it was an eye-opening experience for me. And I really felt like I was a Japanese person over there working for that big company. I mean, for that little company there.
That's what's up, bro. Wow. It seems like, Japan is a good place for brothers to visit and live there. Would you say it's a country for brothers to actually live there until they die, like permanently, or only for a couple of years and come back to America?
No. It is a good country for you to live permanently. I know for me, in fact, my wife and I, my wife is the oldest in her family. So traditionally the Japanese give the oldest person they get all the inheritance. They get all the land or whatever the dad has. And her dad has a few properties over there. So we're already picking up a few pieces of property in Japan. We're actually going to retire in Japan later on. That is what our plan is. But yeah, I would say, when I went to teach over there, when I went there during that time, I was there to be there permanently. But what happened to me is I got an offer in another country, in Saudi Arabia, which is another subject to talk about. And the money was just so good, I had to take it. But yes, I highly recommend it. If you can live in Japan comfortably, permanently, if you want. What you're going to need to do, though, to me, the best way to do it is get you a position where you can work from anywhere in the world. meaning IT, whatever position that's going to pay you well. You don't want to go over there and have to work for a Japanese company per se. I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I'm just saying it depends on where you're at in your life. If you want to get around and sightsee anytime you want and travel all over the country anytime you want, then you need to work, like I said, remotely for a company and just live in Japan or have a business. If you work for a Japanese company, a lot of times you won't get to do that because you're going to be so busy. I mean, you can literally be putting in 60-hour work week if you don't watch yourself or more.
Damn, that's crazy. Can you speak about racism? Like, have you experienced racism based on your skin color in Japan?
No, I haven't experienced any racism myself in Japan. No, and here's the thing, guys, you got to know about Japan. And I know that you had, and I'm going to finish watching that. You had the Costa Rica up there, which is nice. I saw the comment by one of the brothers in Africa saying, "Oh, they're just talking because they want to impress Americans and UK, whatever, that kind of stuff." But the thing is this, because he said they want to go to the West. Well, look, Japan looks like a Western country. They have everything they need in Japan. A Japanese woman does not have to marry you just to come to the US. Trust me, they got all they need. So the big difference I would tell everybody between Japan and the rest of the world, although the women know and look and dress and act and live amongst Western things, they are totally different, totally feminine, totally different from Western women. And those are the better women for you to get, because no matter where you take them in your country, the UK or the US, they're not going to change because they're already accustomed to seeing and living that way, if you will. But as a Japanese. And as racism, no, I've never experienced anything racist in Japan. Some people will misconstrue when they go to, say, a place that says, "Oh, for Japanese only," because those places don't know how to explain to the drunk Westerner that this is a membership only club. That's what people were like, "Oh, they're racist. They won't let me in their club." The white guy gets over there and he's not used to experiences because he's got the big head thinking he can get everything everywhere in the world he wants. And he gets to Japan and he finds out, "Oh, you can't come in," but yet he'll see me go in the club. And that's only because I have a membership of the club. I've been exclusive. I've been invited to come to the club, but they won't let these other people in if they haven't been invited.
Awesome, bro. That was great intel there. Now we speak about Japanese women. Okay, bro. So first question for you, how good looking are Japanese women? How good looking are they in your opinion? Would you say they are one of the best looking groups of women in East Asia, around the world? Because I know there's a few stunners there in Japan. I've seen them myself in real life and they are gorgeous. But you've lived in Japan. Is the average Japanese woman like very good looking?
Yes, the average is good looking, and it depends on where you go. And trust me, I had a lot of friends, Japanese male friends over there, and they would tell me where the best women were, and they were right. So it depends on the area. Nagoya, which I mentioned earlier, they don't have the best looking women in Japan. In fact, according to Japanese, they have the ugliest women in Japan. And I was like, okay, really where? The best looking ones that I can attest to, I know that there's a train line in Osaka from Osaka Station, Umeda Station to Kobe, Sannomiya Station. And during the commute, those are the best looking women in Japan. When you on that line, you like on the Hankyu line. I used to take the Hankyu line or the Hanshin line. You see them and your mouth is just dropping. But yeah, I would say the average Japanese is beautiful. A lot of them, though, I would say some of them, they wear a lot of makeup because they always dress themselves up. They will not go out of their house without looking good. Trust me, they are serious because they know the competition is deep. Now, if you're looking for a certain body type, that's where you come into some challenges or some differences in opinion as to what beauty is like. Because when you're in the Tokyo area or a big metropolitan area, a lot of the women there are coming from other parts of Japan, or a lot of the women are from, of course, they're from that area. They're not living with their mom and their dad. Everybody's busy. They're living in a little one room apartment, paying about $700-800 a month for a 450 square foot or less apartment. They're not eating well because they're working all the time. So you'll see the smaller breasts, smaller waist, or just like they just won't look like the best woman in the world to you body wise. But then the women that are from like this place called Tohoku, like Tohoku is like northeastern Japan. up there, like Aomori, where they're taller, nicer bodies. Akita, Yamagata, Niigata, where my wife and them from. You'll notice the women have like fuller breasts and they're a little bit thicker. It's not fat, but just they got skin, they got body on them. And that's because they're eating well. So it basically depends on what they're eating, what they're able to eat. Kyushu is another place. They got some beautiful women out in Kyushu. So I would say overall, yeah, they have some really beautiful women in Japan. I know some people like the Korean look better compared to Japan, or some like the Japanese better compared to Korea. I've lived in both countries, and my pick of the choice, I like certain things about Korean women, but I prefer Japanese.
Damn. Okay, brother. So these beautiful Japanese women you are saying, right? Are they checking for brothers? Because obviously, as a brother like myself and other brothers in the live stream, we want to date the best looking woman. We want 10s, we want 9s, we want 8s minimum, right? We want slim, thick, we want gorgeous women. Are these gorgeous Japanese women checking for brothers?
Yes, they're checking for brothers. And that's the thing. You see in the pictures of Miss Japan, the sister, the two sisters up there, Miss and the runner-up. So if those women are sitting in a coffee shop, which they could normally do because they like to go to a coffee shop, and you just walk in there and you just wave and say hello. It's not like going to be in the U.S. where they're going to be like, I don't want to talk, like that blue lady you talked about the other day. My boyfriend's still paying me. No, they're going to be saying, what's up? They're going to talk to you. You're going to strike up a conversation. And a lot of times you strike up a conversation with 10s. You like, okay, you think, all right, I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and walk away before I embarrass myself. And they're like, wait a minute, where you going? And you're like, especially if you speak in Japanese. And like, oh no, no, you sit down. Let's sit down and talk. And next you know, you're sitting down, or you have to say it to them. Hey, look, I'm going to sit down here and talk to you. All right. Is that good? You busy? No, you don't ask a Japanese woman nothing. You tell them what you're going to do, or they may say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now, or I got something going on, or my friend's coming, I'm waiting for my friend. If they're not waiting for their friend, or if they're with their friend, and they may tell their friend, look, okay, I'll talk to you later, girl. See you. I'll talk later. And they're talking to you. So you got no problem. Brothers got no problem picking up dimes in Japan. Like I said, my thing is in Tokyo and all over, when I'm walking down the street, I'm like, man, there's a 10. And again and again and again. That's how it was.
Damn. So in your opinion, right, how was it like dating a Japanese woman? What makes dating a Japanese woman different from dating an American woman or a UK woman, in your opinion? What makes them stand out, bro?
They're very enthusiastic. They're very into you on the dates. They're very shy at first when they first, date you, of course. Japanese, for the most part, are very shy. So they're going to listen a lot. I mean, they're listening. And they ask a lot of questions. That's the thing. Some brothers are like, man, they ask too many questions. But they ask a lot of questions because they have to put together a box. That's how they think. They put a box together. They're not good multitaskers. So they have to put together a box to see, what is this person like? What is this person about? How do I fit into this person's life? So taking them out, I felt like it was easy. It was simple. You didn't have to impress them. You ain't got to drop all this money on them. You just basically, when you talk to them, you get their interest. And some of them might be saying, hey, well, look, I have a taste for apple pie at McDonald's. Okay, let's go to McDonald's. Meet me at McDonald's. Or, I want to go to the coffee shop. The safest, best, and reasonably priced places to take these women is to a nice cafe. Because you can get into a nice cafe, and if you budgeting or whatever, you can still spend a fair, not that much money and have a great time. All they really care about is the conversation and being with you. It's not, you're not there to impress these women. Trust me. You don't have to. You already impressed. You impress them when you walk down the street.
So you don't need to take them out to $50 dinner dates, $35 dinner dates, buy them Gucci, buy them a Prada bag, make sure you pay for their bills even when you split up with them. Make sure you buy them red bottom shoes. Make sure you have a six-figure business. Make sure you're 6'9". None of that, bro. Are you sure?
No, none of that. They don't care about your business. They don't care about your work. It's nice. People say it's nice to have a business card. Okay, well, here's my business card. Okay, that's nice. But after that, the conversation is going to go to yourself. It's going to go to they mostly want to know what your interests are. Like I said, that's how they build that box. They want to know, what do you like to do? You like to take pictures. You like to travel. You like to eat. everybody in Japan likes to eat. So if you like to eat and you can talk food and you know the food, you're in the house, because that's how you get them. If you say, hey, I know this nice izakaya. Izakaya is a Japanese pub, which I like to take the ladies at the izakaya. They're open like late at night. They get off work, usually get off work late. You say, hey, there's a nice izakaya I want to go to. Ooh, I know that place. Let's go. You get there. It's fun. It's vibrant. Everybody's happy, and you can have a good time. You can also meet them in the park and go to like a convenience store, like a Lawson or a 7-Eleven. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how the 7-Elevens are in the UK, but I know in the US, they're trash. They're the trashiest places to hang out. But in Japan, 7-Eleven is totally different. The food is good. The atmosphere is good, everything. So you can say, hey, meet me at such and such a station, and I'm going to grab a couple bentos. What do you like to eat? Then, oh, I want to eat this. Okay, great. You grab the bento, you meet him at the station, you go to the park, you sit on a nice day and you talk, and you can sit there for hours and talk to him.
That's awesome, brother. Before I ask you any more questions, we have 76 people watching this live stream, and I only see 55 likes. Can we get the likes up, please? This is free intel. You're not charging for it. So if you have not liked this video, can you please hit the like button? There should be at least 65 likes. It doesn't matter if you're subscribed to me or not. This is free intel, brothers. I'm not charging you brothers to watch this video at all. It's not on any services. It's free intel. So please, can we get the likes up so my video can be pushed out to other brothers who need this intel and are depressed with women in America, Canada, and the UK. So Tony, my next question to you is so the best looking Japanese girls, right? You said they are in Kyushu, right?
They're in Kyushu and in the Kobe area, like the city called Kobe. They're in their area, and then you got damn near all of northern Japan, so northeast and northwest Japan.
What about Tokyo and Osaka?
Tokyo and Osaka, they look good. I mean, trust me. But the difference is that in Tokyo and Osaka, they're made up. Most of them are made up. So, like, I dated a lot of girls out there, and then you wake up in the morning and you look, and you might pick up a 10, and then you're like, oh my God, what happened to the 10? You're a 6. You'll get that. I'd say 30% of the women that you date will be like that. You'll be kind of surprised, like, whoa, what happened? But when they put that makeup on, they look good. But when they don't have that makeup on, you make a lot of them when they moving their face all over your body, you're like, whoa, what happened? But the ones at the places that I mentioned, even in the morning, those women are 10s.
Damn. Yo, this is crazy. Okay, brother.
Because you know what it is in the city in Tokyo. What my experience is, I don't know if it's the water or whatever, but I noticed that some of the women I dated there, the skin wasn't good. I was kind of surprised at how bad the skin was. But of course, a lot of women I dated had really smooth, silky skin. Because they have all different kinds. I think what it is there's a certain type. They like to get the suntan all the time, like to get, lay out in the sun and get burnt. And then there's the ones that don't get out in the sun and they care a lot about how their skin look. And we used to call them milky white. I prefer a milky white from all the women I dated. The milky white is what I prefer. I married a woman with milky white skin. So, and to a Japanese person, the milky white is the most beautiful Japanese girl in Japan. Okay.
What about the tanned Japanese women? Are they out there in Japan and are they checking for brothers? Because that brown skin, tan skin, a lot of brothers like that.
Oh yeah.
So where do we find women like that in Japan?
They're all over. I mean, I was dating a lot of them when I was in Osaka, because they like a lot of beaches, right? So they always hang out on the beaches. For them though, it's just to me, it's a fun thing. I'm not saying that every woman that has a tan is not a good woman, but I'm just noticing that when you live in Japan, when you used to be in Japan, you start to see how women fall into different segments. You can literally stand at the train station and pick out what they do. Oh yeah, she likes to go surfing. Oh yeah, she's an office lady. Oh yeah, you can literally pick them out and see. When you get used to living in Japan, you can tell what they do and what they like just by watching them come out of the train station.
Awesome, bro. Thank you so much for that intel. So let's speak in terms of, feminism. In your experience, is feminism a problem there? Is it getting bigger? Do you see feminism going the way it's in Japan the way it is in America and the UK? Or is feminism not something brothers should be worried about?
No, they're very feminist. I think I told somebody, my wife, and she's been living in this country. We've been married 14 years, and so on and off, she's been here 16 years. And she, on a scale of 1 to 10, she's a 12 when it comes to feminism. And I know a lot of her friends around her are the same way. They're not going to change the way they are. They're not, like I said, they have a strong culture. They don't care what's out there. See, Japanese are, maybe I should use a word like a segmented society. There's a time for everything. So, for example, they'll get married in a church, but they're not Christian. When they pass away, it's a Buddhist or Shinto funeral. So when they're partying, they're dancing. But when the club partying's over, they're not going to be dancing. They may walk down the street and may not say 2 words to you because they're at work. If they're walking down the street with their coworkers and they happen to see you, they don't want to draw attention to themselves. They won't say nothing, but then they'll call you later and say, "Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you because I was with my job." So it's whatever it is now, that's what they focus on. Because like I said, they're not multitaskers. They're not good at that.
Okay, brother, this is great intel so far. Let's speak in terms of demographics there, in Japan. And this is broken down into 2 questions for you. So in terms of demographics, are there more women than men in Japan? And the second question is, I know in Japan it's not just ethnic Japanese women. We have Brazilian Japanese women. We have Russian Japanese women. We have women all across the world from living in Japan. So can you tell me, apart from ethnic Japanese women, what other races and groups of Japanese women would we find there, and are they checking for brothers? So 2 questions for you.
Mm-hmm. So if I remember the second, I think, what was the first question again? I'm sorry. I know the second one was the different nationalities, mixtures of women.
So the first one was, are there more women than men in Japan?
Yes. So the last I checked, it's about even. But see, that doesn't, for brothers, that don't even, they could have more men than women. It wouldn't make a difference. The more women looking for brothers is high. Trust me. Every Japanese woman out there that is single, and even if she's married and thinking about it, they want a brother. Everyone I met, they want a brother. Now you might have I want to get into classical music and I want to know about Beethoven girls. You have a certain segment, but that's a very small percentage of the population. And that's only because they want to date, say, the guy from Austria or whatever, because they have a purpose. But for the most part, they want a brother. They will tell a guy straight up. I've been to clubs and women are like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, no." And I give an example that I had, an experience I had, and I've had many like this, but I remember this one vividly. I was up in Misawa, Japan, which is, like I said, one of the best kept secrets in Japan, up in Aomori. A lot of tall, young, beautiful women up there, milky white skin, long hair. And I was in the club dancing with this one girl, and I was with my boys. This one dude was with us when we was in the Air Force in the Philippines. And the one girl walked in, and I was sitting down at the table with a couple other women. I said, "Woo," because she was fine. And so I'm on the dance floor, and next thing you know, she's dancing with my friend. I'm saying, "Oh, there she get." All right, I said, "He got one. He's lucky." Next thing you know, she comes up. I'm dancing with this other girl. She comes up to me, and she puts her arms around me and starts dancing with me. And I'm thinking, all right, it's just a show. Okay, cool. Go and get back to him. And I say, "Hey, you with my friend?" She said, No, I don't want to be with him. I want to be with you. I want brother. I want to be with you." And she couldn't speak English at all, but she told me all this in Japanese. And when she heard me respond back in Japanese, she was hooked. She just latched on and forgot all about that dude. I walked out that club with her and a friend, and I had to give her friend to somebody else because that's how it was. I could have took them both home, but I was like, "Ooh, I'm just visiting, so I need to go ahead and drop this other one off." So yeah, even though they have a lot about the same, they don't care. It doesn't make a difference. They're all looking for the brothers.
So there's more women than men demographically in Japan. So is it like the ratio? Is it like 55% women to 45% men?
I haven't checked the numbers recently. I think the last time I checked, it may have been like 50-50, like 50 and a half men to 49.5% women. I can Google it and check it, but I haven't checked the numbers in years. I mean, I've been married for a while, but I haven't checked those numbers. I mean, you never think about those numbers because everywhere you go, you see a lot of pretty women, and those women are out there to get you. So that's why brothers don't worry about it. It could be five men to 1 woman for all we care. We still getting all the women.
Okay, yeah. Bro. So speak about the other nationalities of women that are predominantly in Japan, and are they checking for brothers? Because I want to know if Brazilian Japanese women are checking for brothers, if the Russians there are checking for brothers. You know, brothers need that intel. Tony, can you break it down
Yes.
for us, bro?
Yes. So the thing is this, and you probably heard of this place Roppongi, where a lot of expats hang out at Roppongi. I mean, there's party places all over Tokyo, all over Japan. Roppongi is the big one. When you go there, you're going to see Brazilian, Japanese, Russian, mixed Japanese, black and Japanese. Here's the thing that brothers got to understand about Japan. And I know we're talking about Japanese, but like I said, there's a lot of those mixtures. All the women want us, Australian, New Kiwi, Brit, you name it, Canadian. They're looking for brothers over there because those girls are not getting any play at all. Literally, you will walk by a Canadian or UK and you're like, hey, they had a British accent and everything, which used to turn the brothers on, but we looking straight at the Japanese. And if you get you like one of them Brazilian Japanese or like a Filipino Japanese, oh, you in the house. Because in Japan, they call them halves. So in Japanese, they say hafu. So those women are down for the brothers too. The only ones that I would question, and that's because I don't really have an experience with them, are the Russian chicks, Japanese chicks. I don't know. They have their own ulterior motive. They have a reputation. Russians have a reputation in Japan where you can't trust them. That's because Russia took over some parts of Japan right after World War II or right before the war ended. So Japanese don't really trust Russians a lot. So they have that rep. But they are fine though, and if you get one, then you might as well keep them. But I don't know how they respond to brothers because I hadn't run into many of those. But I know everybody else, they respond to brothers well.
Yeah, because I like Charles Jones said, I actually want to meet like a Japanese, a Brazilian Japanese woman or a Colombian Japanese woman. I've seen the mix of them and they're very good looking. I've also seen the half black, half Japanese mix, and they're also good looking as well. And to hear that they're checking for brothers too, that's fantastic. But Tony, why is it that so many women in Japan are checking for brothers? Why do they want brothers out of all the other men there? Why is that, bro? What's the allure of brothers?
Well, it happened since, and I learned this a long time ago. It happened since the end of the war. And I know my uncle was stationed in Japan, and trust me, he loved it. He got there in 48, and he was 45 right after the war. Because keep in mind, if you know the history of it, all the combat veterans that fought in World War II, the U.S. did not let them get stationed in Japan after we took over Japan. They brought in fresh, young troop. So what would happen is we all would get over there, and the white boys would treat them like crap, just like they was back in the U.S. They still thought they were Jim. They tried to bring the Jim Crow BS over to Japan. Well, the brothers would treat them with respect, and that's why that love just grew. So now when I go in Japan, I can automatically see how they're not going to come out and say, "Oh, we like you more, or we treat you better." They're not going to say that. They're just going to do it. And you can tell the difference. You can see it in their body language and how they behave. Even the guys, they want to be your friend. They want to hang out. They just treat us better because they remember, and it was passed down from their families, how black people treated Japanese throughout the years. And they know what we're going through in our own countries, part of the world.
Okay, bro. Question for you. Have you ever been called a racial slur like the N-word in Japan?
No. Like I said, I've never had any racism directed toward me in Japan. I've never had that experience. So
no racist terms said to you at all?
No.
Wow.
No, I never had that. I know for me, if people want to, it's an annoying thing, but it didn't bother me, but some people would find it annoying, is you do have your people there who never come across black people who may assume that you know how to do this or do that. Like I know when I was teaching English there, the kids would come out and say, "Hey, Michael Jordan," because I just got my head shaved. And Michael Jordan, they see me and they yell, "Michael Jordan." Well, that was like 8, 9-year-old little kids, but the adults would never say that to me. So you might get those things that might drive you nuts, but is it racism? No. And are they racist to me? No. The thing is that there's a lot of curiosity in Japan. So what I noticed is that, like, I'll give you an example. My family, which I can talk about later, is in the program, is they treat me just like one of them. Literally everywhere we go, they're like, "Hey, he's a Shinseki. That means that's my family. That's my family." So once you get in the groove, it's like you're like one of them. So no, I haven't had that experience.
So what about like people trying to touch your hair and all that stuff? That's never happened to you in Japan?
No, I never had people try to touch my hair like that. I know I've heard of those cases, but those are pretty rare. I think those are like, You get these old men or old ladies who may have unfortunately never seen a black person, and they want to feel they're curious, but that doesn't happen. That's very rare. Like I said, Japanese are pretty shy, and they don't really touch people a lot in Japan. They're not touchy feely.
Okay, bro. Yeah, so that kind of relates to my next question, because I know what's happening in Japan in terms of the dating scene and the dynamics between men and women. A lot of men are not getting dates. A lot of women are basically femcells there, in Japan. So you're saying that they're checking for brothers, right? And brothers get a lot of dates there, but the whole dating dynamic there in Japan is really weird. Like, a lot of men aren't getting dates, a lot of women aren't getting dates. So how come brothers aren't getting dates? Can I really trust going to Japan and actually expecting me to get a dime woman when a lot of Japanese women aren't even dating? Speak on that, Tony.
Yes, yeah, no, you can. Here's the thing. The reason why a lot of them having the dating issues is because the men have turned into simps. I mean, they have literally reversed themselves. And I've seen it happening. I've seen it going from 80s into the 90s into where they got these feminine programs, and then the men are like dressing a little bit like the women, want to be the pretty boy. Japanese aren't really attracted to pretty boys and the simps. Yeah, they like to discuss, they like to have a conversation with them and joke around and laugh and giggle. But as far as getting serious about them, they're not. Also, another thing that's really hurting the dating scene in Japan are a lot of these guys are just staying in their houses by themselves. They get off work, the guys, they go home. They don't want to go out and date the women. They got these dolls now I'm hearing about where they do all the thing they want with the dolls, do on the internet when they get home. They're straight in the computer. They don't feel like they need a woman. So it's almost like the black woman in America saying they don't need a man, the Japanese man in Japan saying they don't need a woman. Well, they date the brothers because brothers, we already, our demeanor is already masculine. You see a brother before we open our mouth, the first word out of your mouth is man. There's a man right there. And then we come up and we approach them, and we approach them with confidence. I mean, I've never had Japanese, and I've tried this. Trust me, I tried this, and I experimented with this with a relationship I had. I was trying to play the simp role. That does not work. They will run over you if you're a simp. They will start demanding things from you that they never thought about before. And I'm not saying like the West. It's just that they just won't respect you. So I got rid of that real quick. I got out of that mode real fast. Another problem that I noticed, and I was going to tell the brothers, when you go over there, I see the white boys do this a lot. They'll pick up a lot of Japanese and they'll try to compete with you. Like, you'll be out there walking around, you hear them speaking the Japanese, but a lot of them sound like women because they're picking up, because, Japanese, just like a lot of languages, there's masculine, there's the feminine side of the language, right? Well, a lot of those boys over there are speaking like women. See, me, I learned a lot from hanging around with Japanese male friends and working in the company and whatnot. So when I speak Japanese, I sound like a man already. So the women, they respect that, they love that. And they like when you approach them, and they love confidence. Like I said, you don't ask a woman where you're going to go on a date. I hear guys like, hey, where do you think we should go? You don't say it. You say, yo, we're going to go over here. And if they don't like it, they'll tell you next time if they don't like it.
Okay, bro, that's very good intel though. So you're saying don't simp, don't try and be that dude who says, where do you want to go to? What's your choice? Be assertive. Like, we're going here next Saturday. We're doing this next Saturday. I want you to do this for me. I want you to wear this certain type of dress on our date. So you got to be very assertive in your relationships, or else she can just override you. Is that what you're saying, Tony?
You have to be that. And she's not trying to override you too. What the problem is that they run into is that they just don't know how to behave with simps. They're just like, what am I supposed to do? What am I? They don't know how to act around a simp. They're like, oh, because some of those women over there, if they get a simp, they're like, okay, well, hell, if you're going to give me this, well, why don't you go ahead and give me that thing that I want to get? Why don't you go ahead and buy me this or buy me that or do this? Like, that happened to me. Like I said, that one experience I had as a lone simp where, I paid for this woman's plane ticket. I brought her over to Seattle. She stayed with me for a couple of weeks. I'm paying, taking her out to dinner, $300-$400 dinner meals, trying to impress. And then I started realizing, so wait a minute, this isn't going anywhere. And she had all the stuff. She was ready to move in with me. Had all the stuff coming over here on the boat. I said, you know what? No, thank you. See you. I had to cut that off real fast and started seeing other women. So the simp rule does not work. The simping does not work in Japan. Women will run over you. They do not know how to act. That's what it is.
Okay, this is great intel, bro. Okay. So, I was very interested in that whole dynamic between the dating scene between Japanese men and Japanese women, because I know it's really, really bad over there. So,
Yeah.
because of that, are you saying that there's thousands, even possibly millions of Japanese women that they can't get dates because the men are simping too much, or the men simply want to actually date dolls and look at cartoons and all that stuff
Well,
instead of
it's
so does that mean that there's a huge market for thousands and thousands of brothers to travel to Japan and get mass Japanese women? Is that what you're saying, bro?
Yes, brother. Brothers, to me, if you're a black man, you need to be in Japan. If you're not in Japan, you're missing out a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of other countries out there to go to, but when you want to get somewhere where you can walk down the street and feel like you at home, like I said, you feel like you in London, or you feel like you walking in New York or in Tokyo's or any place, you're like, oh, okay, they got stuff that I'm used to at home, but it's a lot more and a lot more of it. So, there's a nation full of women over there that are waiting for men. And you see the programs. I watch a lot of Japanese programs with my wife. And I'm like, man, why are they always hesitant? Why are they so hesitant to just tell a woman? See, they have a problem telling women how they feel. When they want something, they have a hard time. They expect them to come out or just happenstance. They act a lot on happenstance. They don't create their situations. They just wait for situations to happen that never come. That's what I noticed in a lot of the men there. And, like I said, they're not really paying too much attention. Japanese got the birth problem. They got more older people now over 65 than they got under 14. So I know my wife, she's born in 84. There's only 700,000 women that were born in 84 in Japan. So there you go, right? So they still have them, but the population is shrinking. So there's a lot of problems there. But then here comes this brother coming down the street, smiling, saying hello, looking them in their eye and not afraid of them. They don't know how to act, man. I mean, they act good, but they're like, whoa, this brother's actually talking to me. He's actually telling me what we're going to do,
Yo, oh.
Yeah, so brothers should
Tony.
get over there, man. I mean, you don't even have to go to the clubs and nothing like that. Like I said, you could just hang out, go into a convenience stop, talk to a clerk, be at a department store, go to the zoo, a museum or something, and strike up a conversation. And next you know, they're giving you their phone number. Like, okay, well, can you call me? Because I got to do this. I got to do that.
Okay, brother. So what are the bad traits you've seen in Japanese women that brothers should, when they see that, they should stay away from her? What traits should we look out for, the bad traits? Because obviously not every woman is perfect, but there must be some bad traits that you've recognized, and once you see it, stay away from her.
Yes. So the first thing you want to stay away from is any Japanese woman that speaks English fluently or speaks a lot of English. You can tell because when you walk up on them or you get into a relationship with them and they start speaking, oh, I can speak English, or they start see a lot of them. What they do is even you got women over there who have a purpose. Especially the ones that over 25, they start getting desperate because it's a Christmas cake thing. Nobody wants anybody over 25. So when they get around like 28, 29, 30, they start getting desperate for a man. And they will do anything to get a man. So even if they speak good English, and if they find out that, oh, Westerners don't want to date you because you're speaking like English, or Westerners don't want to date you because you know this and know that, they may act like they don't know it, or they may even speak it like they learned it in the UK or America or whatever. They might have went to school abroad or something. But what's going to happen eventually is they're going to start coming out with their nuances, usually things that brothers say. And then you're going to be like, oh, this woman's been around brothers before. And that's another thing. I would not my rule is I don't want to go out with a woman who's been around with brothers because I already know that brothers beat that up. I don't want to be around them. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. I'm just like, no, because they know too much. They've been through that trauma, whatever they had with that brother. I don't want that passed on to me. I've been there and done that. I've had that experience and it wasn't a good experience. But yeah, they'll slip up because they'll say something that like you be hitting it and all of a sudden they be like, oh, this you saying stuff like you hear one from sisters, and when you hitting them, you're like, oh, wait a minute, where you been? So people can't always hide what they know. It's gonna eventually come out. But yeah, the first thing, don't be dating the women, or you can go if you want to sleep with them, hang out with them, that's it. But don't take them serious. If they speak in English all the time, they got a high body count. Also, too, is you don't want no been there, done that woman. So when I was dating this one girl saying, oh yeah, I've been to Romania, I've been to Thailand, you don't want that because now the freshness has worn off. especially if they're 25. They're no longer fresh. I don't care what people say. Over that, they're not fresh anymore because their attitude changes. Now they're more analytical. They start getting more opinionated. A man don't want no woman with an opinion. We just want simple things. So those are where you want to watch out for those. You don't run into many of them. You will run into them when you hang around the bases a lot. Like like I said, those bases I mentioned, your Koska, your Coda, those kind of places, you'll run into a lot of those women.
This is awesome, bro. Thank you. Awesome intel. So let me ask you about, in terms of, approaching Japanese women. What's the best way to approach them? Because I know they're very reserved. Like, how should brothers approach Japanese women? So I'm walking down the street. I see a gorgeous Japanese woman walking towards me. How do I approach her and make it known that, I want to take you out, I want to date you? What's the process behind that, brother?
Oh man, that's the fun part, brother. That's one of the fun part. So yeah, because you're a foreigner, man. Like I said, it's like a kid in a candy store. You walking down the street, you see a fine one, and you got to do a double take. That's what I would do. I'd walk by them, make sure they're not with anybody of significance, then I walk back. And it depends too. You got to watch and make sure they're not at work, because at work they're totally different than when they're on their own. Because if they're at work and they're dealing with business, they don't want their employees teasing them about a brother coming up on them, or anybody, not just a brother, any man coming up on them or giving them attention. They don't feel comfortable with that. Or if they're with their girlfriend, it's just the two of them and they're talking a lot, it's not a good time to approach them. But if you see a dime out there and she walking down the street and she's by herself, or she may be with a group of girls and you picking her out, you can always say, oh, excuse me, see what I'm saying? I'm trying to find, the direction mode. That works every time. Oh, I need to go, where's the Ueno Zoo? Or where's the museum I want to go to? Or how do I get to Akihabara, or that type of thing? And actually, you don't want to say you want to go to a spot. You want to name a spot you're trying to get to, because they know you can get directions on the subway because it's easy to get around. So when you get off the station, like at a Ueno station, you want to say, hey, which way do I go to the zoo? And I'm hungry, so I'm going to go to the zoo, but I'm going to actually go grab me a coffee real quick. Do you know a good place I can go to get me some coffee before I go to the zoo? You see what I'm saying? You start adding this stuff. Next thing you know, you at a coffee shop with this woman drinking a nice cup of coffee and having a pastry in that conversation.
Okay, bro. Fantastic. So when you have that coffee with her, how many more dates should brothers actually see that woman before making things serious, or taking things to the next level? Would you say first dates, first kisses are appropriate? So you meet her at that first date, you go in for the kiss, or is that too early? How many dates does it take for brothers to like take it to the next level?
It depends on the mood. It depends on the relationship. It depends on the chemistry between the two. I've been some dates where nothing would really happen. What would happen is, like, you get on that first date, and then you talk and you're having the conversation, and then basically that first date, you're just setting up what's going to happen next. So at that time, she's still feeling you out, you still feeling her out, because it works both ways. And then like I said, the pickup. If you pick them up and you're on your way to the zoo or something, and you stop at a cafe, you'll know you're getting in the house when they say, okay, well, what are you doing tomorrow? Or here's my number. Can you call me? I got to work the rest of the week, but I'm off Saturday. Are you here? First of all, they want to make sure that you're actually living in the country. They don't really want to take you too serious if they know that you're just visiting. Okay, they'll still give you the play after going out a few times, but they feel more comfortable when they know that, oh, you give them the business card. Here's my business card. Oh, you work so and so. Okay, great. Now they know where you at. They'll never email you or call you business number, because they don't get involved in your business. That's not what they do. But it usually takes a few dates for you to get to feel each other out before things can get. You might get lucky on the first day, and it's not even. I don't even call it lucky. Basically, what happens a lot of time, half the time with me, the women always made the first move. Because I would sit there and just play like, I do an Eddie Murphy thing in Boomerang, even though he was simping, but I do the Boomerang thing, like just, okay, I'm just going back. Next you know, you got lips on you, like, whoa, what happened?
Okay, so if a Japanese woman was to make her move on you, would it be like, would she like nudge you? Would she try and touch you in a certain place? How do Japanese women flirt, like in terms of touching? And to reverse that question, how do they want to be touched?
Yes, yes. Well, it starts with the hand. So, if because like I said, they're not touchy-feely people. So if you touch a woman or the woman touch you, it's on. That's showing some serious affection. So usually, it'll start with the hand, or you might get in a situation where you got to brush up on them a little bit, just trying to get around. Because brothers, when we roll out, because one thing about them, they like the way we dress, they like the way we smell. Most of the brothers I know, we all take good care of ourselves. Our hygiene is world class. Most brothers I know got world class hygiene. We smell good. We keep ourselves well groomed. Even if we got dreads, whatever, we still look and presentable everywhere we go. And they love that. They eat that up. I've been on dates where like even here, we meet them over here. But when I'm in Japan, just go out on dates. Next, I'm sitting in the car with them. I'm sitting on the train with them, and they put their hand on my hand and holding me, or putting it leaning on my shoulder or whatever, and they're just waiting for me to make that move. Now, if I want to touch them, what I would normally do is, like I said, I got used to what they do. So I just mirror how they would try to do it. If they didn't do it first, I just mirror how everybody else I've done it with before. And it always works. I just grab their hand, start rubbing on their hand and making them feel comfortable. And once they feel comfortable,
awesome. This is awesome, bro. So how about we speak about jealousy against black men? Since black men get all this attention in Japan, how do Japanese men feel about that? And I'm presuming maybe some Japanese women who are not interested in black men. Is there any jealousy towards brothers?
No, I've never. No, there's no jealousy. No, you might run into an old Baba. A Baba is like a woman in like her 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, late 30s, early 40s, 50s, who might be a little bit mental, who's been lonely for a long time, might look at you walking out with your woman like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" May say some snide remark. But that happened to me once when I was in Osaka. I was walking down holding this girl's hand, and this woman said something. But no, I've never felt any animosity toward me from dating women. In fact, some of my family told me, "Hey, man, it's good, brothers dating Japanese, you guys making babies so that way we get better in the Olympics." I mean, you hear this a lot, from guys when they get that sake up in them. I'm like, "What are you saying?" He said, "No, I love it, man, because we want to win the Olympics. Look at Naomi Osaka and Rui Hachimura, playing basketball, that kind of stuff." You get those kind of remarks once in a while, but no, I've never had any issues with that at all. No.
Awesome, bro. We got over 110 people watching this live stream. If you have not liked this live stream so far, please hit the like button. Can we get up to at least 100 likes? I would appreciate it. Also, if you're new to my channel and you're watching this live stream, welcome. Simply press the subscribe button so you never miss a post from me. Hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell and hit it to always so you never miss a post, a live stream or an upload from me. Welcome to the movement. 118 people watching this free intel. Subscribe, like my videos, watch more of my videos. I'm here to save you brothers and give you guys all the intel that you need. So my next question for you, Tony, is love hotels. Have you, can you please explain what that is, right? And can
Yes.
you tell us if you've ever actually been to one before? And is it
Yes.
recommended that brothers go to it as well?
Yes. Love motels are beautiful. In fact, it's funny. They use them different ways. So when I was in Nagasaki, in Kyushu, I went down there, flew down there with a girl that I had met. I met this girl in Hawaii, actually. Then I went over to Japan and I was hanging out with her. And then we flew down to Nagasaki because she was from Sasebo.
Sorry, bro. Hold on, bro. Andrew Davis, chill out with the spam. Chill out with that, bro. Just say hit the like, bro. I appreciate it, bro. But you read that like 10 times, bro. Chill out with the spam, bro. Okay, I appreciate it, bro. Don't spam too much of that. Carry on, Tony.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, they use them for different reasons. Of course, you're gonna get your thing on. But some of them, what'll happen is you'll travel to a different place, and then they will walk around all day, and you'll be like, "Wait, when are we gonna check into a hotel? We're gonna check into a hotel. Oh, we don't." And then at night, you check into a love motel because it's cheaper in that case, right? But that's not. I mean, that's 10% of the people use them like that. But no, they got them all over the place. Whether you drive up to them, they're very discreet. You don't have to worry about it. You can take care of your business. I mean, everything is spot on. I mean, you walk in, when you get done, you pay through the door. Nobody knows it's you. Even your car, if you drive up, the door closed. They're made up. They got heart-shaped beds, all kind of trinkets and toys that you can get into, videos if you want to get into that. I mean, man, they got it all. And trust me, when you get there, you're like, oh yeah, I'm good to go. So yeah, and a lot of them do go to love motels. They do use those.
Awesome, bro. Awesome.
Because the
So
women are living with her family for the most part.
yeah,
Now, that's the thing I want to salute on. If I can say this about that, brothers, is when you're dating a woman, and another best one is if they're living with their family, because somebody's watching their activities on a daily basis. So when they go, I mean, the family's not going to prevent them from going to a love motel. They're not going to prevent them from hanging out with you. That's not what they do. But they know, if they're staying with somebody, with the mom or dad, with the mom and dad, because you don't want a woman who's coming from a broken home. Everything is on the up and up. So to them, going to a love motel is not a dirty thing in Japan. I just want to get that out there. Sex is not dirty in Japan. It's like, to a Japanese, it's like drinking water.
damn. Okay. Going into my next question, body counts. Brothers don't want to date women with high body counts, preferably no body count. We want a clean, well-to-do woman. Would you say the average Japanese woman has a high body count, or are there certain cities brothers should avoid? And where do we find women who have low or no body counts that are beautiful? Because I don't want any woman that's smashed like 50 dudes. God, hell no. Nah.
No, there's a lot of women out there actually, the average Japanese woman has a low body count. And a lot of them out there, you walk into a woman in her 30s and she's still a virgin. I mean, that's how crazy it is. That's how crazy the dating scene is in Japan. Like, the women get desperate when they get in their 30s too. So yeah, I would say they have, compared to a lot of other countries, they have a very low body count. And here's another thing that brothers need to understand about Japanese women, because I will date a Japanese who had a Japanese boyfriend. Even when they have a boyfriend, they don't have sex with him as much. They don't sleep with the boyfriend as much. If they happen to have a boyfriend, first of all, they don't have time to see him all the time. And second of all, when you'll see him out on Sundays, and Theo can probably say about this too. You'll see him on Sunday, they walk around as couples, holding hands, because they're dating. And that's the only time they see each other is on a Sunday, maybe once a month, maybe once every few weeks. That's it. They may go to a love motel after that, or they may not. He's usually staying, if he's a salary man, in a company dorm, and she's usually staying in the company dorm or with her parents, depending on where they're at. So if they want to get the groove on, they'll go to a love motel. Now, Christmas Eve is love night in Japan. So couples, the love motels will fill up pretty quick. But for the most part, you could go out with a Japanese girl who had a Japanese boyfriend for 3 years and might have only slept with him about 20 times. That's about it.
Damn, crazy. And so that's great to hear. That's fantastic to hear, bro. And
also another thing, they use condoms all the time. So you might be the first one that if you get them hooked up on the pill, because Japanese doctors don't talk about the pill a lot. They don't want the Japanese girls on the pill because they make more money on abortions. But trust me, a lot of Japanese will tell you got to get that condom out.
Yeah, definitely. Brothers take that advice. So let's speak about STD, STI rates. Is it high in Japan, amongst women? Because we gotta be careful of that as well. Is that a problem in Japan?
No. It's very low, especially something like herpes. Because like in America, a lot of people have herpes, which I found out, which is why I'm glad I was mostly in Japan all the time. But in Japan, it's very low. STDs are very low in Japan. Like I said, because they use condoms. 90% of the women will use condoms. Now, the only time they won't is if they're in a serious relationship and you happen to ask them to say, look, we're in a relationship now, I think you need to go and get on that pill. And then they'll do it. They won't even question you. They might say, well, the doctor said, well, no. You got to explain to them how good it is. Then they're like, okay, I'll do it. But 90% when you're going out, they're all going to be on that condom.
Awesome, bro. All right, can we speak about social media? Is that a problem amongst Japanese women, like TikToks, Instagram? Because right now social media is gassing up a lot of women's heads. You got women who are 5.5 out of 10, but because they have 20K followers on IG, they think they can ignore average men and shoot their shot at basketball players and high value males. Is social media a problem amongst Japanese women?
No, I don't think it is, because I know, like, for example, I tried to hook my cousin up on social media with Japanese women. I told him to go to Instagram and Facebook. You'll see some of them on Instagram You may see a few on Facebook, but you don't see a lot. They have their own social media outlets in Japan. Like they use Line a lot, Line. They use that a lot. My wife uses that. She's not on Facebook or Instagram because she's a private person. Like she won't let me put pictures up on her and stuff like that. She doesn't care about that kind of stuff because that's not her game. She just uses Line to communicate with her family because you can call for free using that network. But for the most part, no, I don't see the ones that are on Instagram. I would stay kind of like, whoa, what are they trying to do? Like you see cheerleaders up there or women who just want to show like a lot of pictures of food or their dog or the clothes that they wear. I think their mentality is a little bit different than, say, the 5.5 girl who's trying to be a dime just for taking a couple of nice pictures of her when she really weighs 200 pounds, but she's trying to look like she weighs 110. So, but yeah, I don't think social media is a problem for Japan. They have their own, like, I think it's called Moxie. Theo might be able to correct me on that. I've never been on that particular site, but no, I don't see any problems with that.
Okay, bro, that's awesome. That is fantastic. Theo WAF, are you in the live stream, bro? Write a comment, bro. We're going to get you in the live stream later on when I open up the phone lines. Tony, would you say Japanese women are submissive, very submissive towards their men in relationships? The possibility of her becoming like a Western woman are very low, where she wants to fight all the time and be masculine. Speak on that, Theo. Speak on that, Tony.
Yes, no problem. And thank you for getting me connected with Theo because Theo, he's a brother, man, and that's no problem, brother. No, so yes, they're very feminine. But here's the thing that brothers gotta understand is when you get them to the U.S., and that's where my specialty comes in. That's where I know we have people speaking on Japan, and I know a lot about Japan. Trust me, I know it like back of my hand. But I know a lot about the experience bringing them into the U.S. and living with them in the U.S. in a Western country. So a lot of them, like I said, they're going to hang on to the culture. They are going to stay that way. But the ones that hang around the bases, that have the high body count, that speak a lot of English, when they get to the U.S., now they think they're a sister. Oh, look, I'm like my girlfriend here because the sisters want to hook up with them, or you like somebody in your family. Your sister might take her to the club, or your auntie might take her out, or your mother might say something to her that you don't want them to really hear. And next you know, they want to get close to that. They're going to get in like Flynn with the women. Excuse me, then you're done because they're going to be acting like them. And I see guys get divorced from those kind of women because that's not what they married. That is the big problem that I see. That's why I say stay away from the women with the high body count. Whatever you do, don't marry a Japanese that come from a broken family. Never. She's got to have both parents, and she got to have been raised by both parents because that is a disaster waiting to happen.
Awesome stuff, bro. Awesome. So can you recommend any clubs and bars, to meet beautiful dime Japanese women that are respectable, come from good families, low body counts? What are the best clubs and bars that you recommend that you can give brothers that intel for?
Yeah, you should go. Like, there's a lot of places you can hang out. I know I mentioned Tokyo a lot because a lot of people go through Tokyo. Tokyo is the face of Japan for a lot of expats. Of course, there's the Roppongi. Roppongi's is more like a sleazier section of Japan, but they do have some upscale stuff. Like Tokyo Midtown is nice. Roppongi Hills is nice. Shibuya, Shinjuku. I mean, you can just Akihabara, anywhere, Ikebukuro. You can go anywhere in that part of Tokyo, and you can just walk down the street and find you a nice club. Now, you may have to look a little bit harder for, like, say, if you want to do some dancing and whatnot. If you want to just do dancing and just prancing, then yeah, hit Roppongi up because you're going to walk down. Brother's going to be giving you, like a lot of people try to stay away from the African, trying to give them, hey, man, come on in, check out the club. But, you walk in there, they can't make you do what you don't want to do. You're like, oh, yeah, this is great. Or you say, no, man, I'm good, brother, I'm out. And you just go on down and keep going until you find a nice spot. I don't know the names of clubs because I've been to so many, so I don't remember all the names. I do know areas. So like in Osaka, you can go to like Minami. Oh man, and I think Theo mentioned this before. Minami's off the chain. I used to work in Minami, and right around the corner from my office was a place called Amemura, which Amemura means American Village. And they had like reggae clubs, just like jam, hip hop, because Japanese love hip hop. So you can walk in those clubs and you could be up there till wee hours in the morning and have a good time and walk out with somebody. And you may not sleep with that person, but you'll start a conversation and you'll start a trend, and start hanging out with them for a minute. But you got to keep in mind, though, there's a reason why they went to those clubs.
And why is that? What's the
Because
reason, bro?
they want to pick the brothers up. If they go to a hip hop club, they want to meet the brothers. Now, they may walk in, you may see 4 brothers and a lot of Japanese guys up in there, but those women are looking for the brothers when they go to those kind of spots. They're like, oh man, we want to meet the brothers up in here. That's why they go in here. And I'm not just talking Japanese. I'm talking Kiwis, Aussies, Brits, Canadians. They all want to meet the brothers. That's why they go to those spots.
Is it? Oh, damn. Okay, bro.
And another thing, bro, if you don't know where to go, you'll see these guys, they like to sit on the pedestrian bridges. They have pedestrian bridges all over Japan. They're selling jewelry. Those guys are Israelis. They know the scoop on everybody. They know where everything is at. So you just ask them, hey, where can I go to party? They're going to say, hey, man, you need to go to this spot. You need to go to that spot.
Awesome, brother. So would you say that brothers should avoid women who go to hip hop clubs, because they're obviously looking for brothers and they'll probably smash a lot of brothers. So hip hop clubs aren't really a good place to meet respectable women, only for the night, I'm guessing.
No, you can meet some respectable women in there. The thing about it, see, that's the trick of it all. So, sometimes you think they're not, and like I said, they do go looking for brothers, but that don't mean they necessarily find brothers. Because keep in mind, there's a lot of competition in Japan, and Japanese know that. So a woman could go frequent the hip hop clubs with her friends. A lot of times they just want to go there and get the dance on, and they're trying to meet the brothers, but they'll walk out without meeting nobody and end up going home by themselves, and their friends end up going home by themselves. They got to go to work the next day or they're off. So they may not necessarily meet anybody. Most of the time, they won't meet anybody in those clubs. They just go there hoping they're going to meet somebody. So keep in mind, because once they meet you, if they're a good woman, they're going to hang on to you, and then they're not going to have any reason to go to those clubs anymore. But if that were me, I wouldn't take those women too serious. That's how I feel.
So they're not like wifeable at all. I definitely agree with that, bro.
I don't consider them wife material. For me, the best, if you talk about wife material, the best ones are the ones that come from those areas I was telling you about, the Tohoku, Niigatas, Kyushus. Get the women that don't frequent those areas. Get the women that come from another part of Japan, because they're more traditional, a lot more feminine, and they come from a patriarch society. And
they're checking for brothers too, right?
And they're checking for brothers too.
Awesome. We got 128 people watching so far. We got 112 likes. Can we get the likes up a bit more? Because I want to see 129 likes. If everyone watching this video, this is free intel. So give me 129 likes. Likes are free. I would really appreciate it. So if you have not liked the video so far, simply press the like button, and that will be much appreciated. So Tony, I have a few more questions for you before I open up the phone lines. To everyone else to ask you questions. It's a packed live stream, so a lot of people are going to call in. So I hope you're ready for that, bro, and you got time for that. Can we speak about Africans there in Japan? Because I hear a lot of bad things about them. They have these clubs, they try to force you in, they tell you to buy all the stuff, and it ends up costing like $1,000, or they might drug you in the club, steal your wallet, or when you get into the club and you try to leave, they simply block the entrance with like 5 guys and they're ready to fight. Has that happened in Japan? And how do we avoid that kind of situation? And are they making black men look bad as well?
It depends. I don't think they're making black men look bad. I think that because a lot of women don't normally frequent those areas. See, Africans will hang out, like I said, in the Roppongi, and then in Osaka, they're hanging around that Minami area. They have certain areas they hang around. You don't have to frequent those areas because trust me, there's a lot of places in Japan where you can go have a good time at night. But for those that do frequent those places, usually like me, when I go down there, I was like, yo, what's up? I recognize people and I say, hey, what's going on? So once they see you more than once, they're not going to try to run a game on you. They try to run a game on people that they know have never been there. They got that naive look on their face. They may be a simp. They may not know the street game, because I come from the street. They may not know the street game. They're gonna run it. They're gonna run it over you, just like any other city in the world. They're gonna look for suckers. If you're a sucker, you're gonna get played, and that's how they are. Now, do they make black people look bad? No. Do they have a reputation? Yeah, Africans have a reputation that's not the best, and some Japanese, if they see Africans, they may not want to go out with an African because they want to really go out with a brother from the UK or the US or Canada. because they've seen them in the movies and they're more familiar with that set of men. We have some sort of dignity. So not to say that African men don't have dignity, because I do know quite a few African men over there that are married to Japanese that are living quite well, that have businesses there, running English schools, running restaurants, things like that. But those guys do give people a bad name. A woman will hesitate, but that same woman that hesitated to go in there and think bad about Africans or whatever, she'll still date brothers once she get away from the scene.
Awesome, bro. I want to make this very clear to people watching the live stream. Hit the gym, because when people see you have muscles, you have presence. They won't mess with you. They won't try and check you. And it doesn't matter how tall you are. Just get bigger in size and make sure you have a hard look to your face. You have like a serious look to your face. Like, they know you're a person who won't take any nonsense. Don't look too naive. Just look normal. But hit the gym. Start doing some cardio. Start doing some push-ups, some weights. Look big. And people won't try and test you. Wouldn't you agree with that, Tony?
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm from Philly, so I got the look on my face everywhere I go. You got to be the alpha male everywhere you go. That's the way I roll, and I walk fast. So when I'm walking down the street, you always got to walk like you know where you're going, which most of the time you do. And people will move out of your way, and they won't even bother you. They'll be like, "Oh no, they ain't mess with this brother. This brother's going on." Like I'll be walking down, you might see some people in the clubs gonna make cards. Yo, what's up, brother? Good. And then, nice to see you, man. I'll catch you later. Boom, I'm on my way out. If you the brothers walking down there, man, you looking all questionable, you out of shape, you look like you beat down, they gonna drag you in that club, man, and you're gonna end up spending a lot of money that you didn't want to spend.
Yeah. So you're saying like especially if you have like Google Maps on your phone and you're looking at your phone at directions where to go to, you're basically food, because they know you're not from the country, you're on your phone, you're following the phone directions, they'll try and lure you into clubs. So brothers should avoid having their phones out.
Yes.
At all costs.
You don't need your phone out. You got all those women to ask questions to. I don't carry my phone out. It's like, hey, excuse me. They're more than willing to talk to you and hold a conversation.
Fantastic, bro. I want to speak about what was my question? What was that question? Yeah. So how do Japanese women distinguish between who's a black man from the West, so UK and America, and an African in Japan? Because when I was in Germany, it was very clear that I used to get long looks from German women, because German women would try to see if I was African. I am African, obviously. We're all African, both of us, because our heritage is Africa. But yes, was I culturally from the UK? Was I culturally from America? Or was I from some country in Africa? They look at you quite long to see where you're from. So how I'm dressed, am I dressed like the hip hop stereotype, oversized jersey, trying to act American with the fake accent? They can tell that German woman. Is that the same case for Japanese women too? Can they distinguish between who's from the West and who's from Africa? And how do they do that? And do they stare quite a lot as well?
Yeah, they can't really tell at first. They only know by asking questions, or they see what you're doing. So yeah, if they see you handing out cards to clubs over here, automatically they know you're African. But if you walk in the restaurant hanging out, they can't tell until you start talking, until they hear you on the phone, until they see what kind of friends you're walking around with. Then they can tell. They know I'm American when I come up, because they see the eye color, which they don't see in Africans. And then they see the lighter, I'm dark, but I'm a little bit lighter than a lot of people from Africa. So they already know, oh, he must be from America. That's usually how they can tell. But even a lot of my dark-skinned brothers, they really can't tell where they're from until they start opening their mouth. Then they're like, oh, you America, he's from America. That's how they can tell. But they're not as well versed as they are in Germany or Europe, because they get a lot of traffic through those countries.
Awesome, bro. So can we speak on hold on, give me a second. Let me get my question list up. So how about we speak about do you consider Japanese women to be materialistic, like American women? Like when you start dating them, they start asking you for a Gucci bag, can you buy me this, buy me that, take me out to this place, pay for everything, pay for my bills and all that stuff. Is that a common trait amongst Japanese women?
No. And like I said, I had that experience. The only time they would do that to you if they know you're a simp. And if you come out. So see, my experience I had was, when I met this chick, I'm driving a Porsche, You know, I had my little boxer ass. I'm cruising around. I paid for her tickets to come back to the States and went to Japan. So she sees me spending money like that without asking questions. Then she's going to assume that, okay, maybe I can get more out of this guy. That was a rarity because most of the Japanese girls you meet are not like that. I would say over 90% of the girls are not like that. Now, they do like nice things. They do know how to dress. They do have a lot of class. You'll meet Japanese girls like when I met my wife. She's a 21-year-old girl in college. She didn't look like she had class, but she was beautiful. But then when I take her out, she's dressing all nice. I'm like, whoa, where'd this come from? She was practical. It wasn't really like a lot of name brand stuff, but it was good stuff. And she knew how to spend money. She was very, you know, money conscious, and she knew what to do. But she got it. And most Japanese women will buy their things on their own that they like. They won't expect you to buy them something.
Awesome, bro. And how do Japanese women know about UK brothers? Because I know obviously they would know about American brothers because American culture is very big. American brothers through hip hop, through movies are, you know, there's a lot of visibility for American brothers. So what about for UK brothers like me? You know,
you might as well be from the States, man, over there, man. Shoot, like I said, brothers I used to hang out with that were teaching English with me over there, man. UK used to get to play. We used to sit all day long, man. UK get to play. They hear you with the British accent, man. It's like you're done, you know. So no, they show the love to the UK brothers just as much as they do the Americans. Canadians get the love. Australians don't get as much love because they don't have as many brothers in Australia, but they still get the love. But the Canadians, Brits, Americans get the most love over there for the brothers, man, in Japan.
There you go, brothers. There you go. Yep. That's crazy intel.
You got that UK passport, brother. Get on that plane and hit to Japan, man, and just speak that accent, Manchester or whatever, man. Just go and speak it, you know.
Definitely, bro. Can we speak about, you know, stereotypes? You know, do Japanese women expect black men to act a certain way, to speak a certain way, like say the N-word like 10 times in a stupid sentence, you know, all that nonsense, or, you know, have dreads and dye it blonde or purple like those crazy little rappers? So how do they expect black men to act out on stereotypes?
The women that expect black men to act that way, like I said, the ones that hang around the bases. So when you get away from the base, they don't look at you as the hip hop person on TV or the movie character, or whatever. They look at you as you. So like I'll go in the store and I'll ask for something and I'm speaking Japanese, or, you know, if I want to use English sometimes, they don't treat me any different. They're not expecting me to do anything or be anyway. But around the bases, it's a different story because they're expecting you to be like the Tupacs and the, you know, the hip hop, things like that. So that's what draws them to you, is because they saw it on the music video. Those are the women, like I said, you want to stay away from them because they mainly just dating brothers and they don't care who you are. As long as you're a brother, they're going out with you. And you can tell real fast which ones they are.
So so some guy called Joe Patrick, he says that Asians worship whites. I don't know why you guys still want Asian women. Is that true in your experience, Tony? Asian women, you know, mostly go for, you know, white men, or is that like a false statement? Because I hear that all the time, but, you know, we need to be careful of generalizations. What do you think about that, Tony?
Oh, yes. So, okay, so I've dated different Asian women from different countries, and Japanese, definitely not. I know Korean, they tend to look at that because they look at the wallet more in Korea. My experience living in Korea, where they were definitely worshiping white males because white men were telling them bad things about us. Although there's a lot of Korean women that will date brothers today. Trust me, they still do. And I mean, they still will. But when I was there, a lot of them was going to look, their first preference was the whites because they figured, oh, the whites got everything because they were told that. It depends on where you go. I think China leans, Taiwan, they lean more toward the whites than they do. Japan lean more toward the blacks. Korea was more neutral. Singapore is like neutral. I mean, you know, you got everything in Singapore, Malaysian, Chinese, Indian, you know, so it just depends. Filipino definitely toward the blacks. So I would say more like China, Taiwan, they're more like, you know, looking at the whites more, although I see a lot more Chinese start to date brothers. Because I did hear in Taiwan, though, brothers couldn't get a lot of play, but someone was telling me that, no, we're getting a lot more play than people think.
What about Hong Kong?
Hong Kong is neutral. So Hong Kong is like, I say that we're more like China, because I met some girls from Canton and they were like on the fence a little bit. It just depends on who the person is and what kind of experience they want. I would say they lean more toward the whites too, because that's what they're accustomed to that because Brits were there for a long time.
So you would say like for Japanese women, brothers are number one.
Yes,
over everything.
brothers in Japan, bar none, brothers are number one in Japan. Yes,
That's crazy. That's
yes,
crazy.
and the
Damn.
thing is too, and I know we got questions coming up, but that's what I was going to say is me being married to a Japanese woman for 14 years in the United States now, mind you, and I met my wife in the States, which is ironic. All the time I lived in Japan, I met her here because we met in Starbucks. She was in Starbucks with her friends, and she was the tallest one out of our three friends. That's the only reason why I really noticed her, and I smiled at her, and she smiled back. She don't remember that. She keeps thinking that I smiled at her first. I gave her my number. She didn't call me for 2 months because she was afraid to talk to men. Like I said, she was no body count. She was like, "Oh, I'm 21. What am I going to do?" But her friend said, "Hey, you better call this guy up." So I mean, then the rest is history. But like I said, we've been here 14 years. I went from getting hit bad in the market in 2008, 2009 to really having nothing. But did my wife get up and leave? No, my wife stayed right with me. Now here she is reaping the benefits. So these are good, solid women, especially if you get one from a good family.
If that was a Western woman, she would have left you
Western
seconds.
woman would have pulled up. But I'm out of here. You ain't buying me this Louis Vuitton bag. What? I'm out of here. They don't understand that a man has to go through cycles in his life to get what he needs to get to support his family. They don't understand that. They expect that water faucet to be on all the time.
Definitely, bro. We got 148 people watching this live stream. That's crazy. Can we please get the likes up? So if you're new to this live stream, can you please hit the like button? If you have not hit the like button already, please press the like button. Your likes will be greatly appreciated. Your likes will allow YouTube to push out this video to other brothers who need this intel. Remember that my community, we're all about sharing, we're all about helping each other. So please share this video and hit the like button. Charles Jones and Real Saint Chocolate, can we please stop the argument between both of you, or I will time both of you out? Let's stop. Let's be cordial here. We're all adults. Let bygones be bygones. So Charles Jones and Real Saint Chocolate, stop the argument. I don't want to time you both out because I'm very respectful in my live stream. So please stop arguing, okay? Tony, I've got a few more questions for you before I open up the phone lines in 10 minutes. Let's speak about learning Japanese. Would you say brothers should learn Japanese? Okay, let me break it down further. How widely is English spoken in Japan? Can we get away with English for a certain time period until the point is where we should definitely learn Japanese? Speak of that.
Yes, brother. You can get away with English a little, but you're only going to go so far. And so you definitely want to. I learned Japanese in college. So when I was there first time, when I was stationed in the Air Force, I was going to college and I was picking up Japanese. I didn't really start getting fluent in it until I went back to live amongst the civilian population, away from the bases, where I had to read, I had to learn. And the best way to learn Japanese is to read Japanese first. And once you read it, you'll learn it. And another thing is, don't expect to be perfect. So if there's certain characters that you don't understand or certain language that you don't understand, don't sweat it. Japanese don't even understand everything in their language. They don't understand how doctor language talk. They don't understand how lawyers speak. So once you figure that out, you're like, oh, I don't have to learn everything because not everybody knows everything over here.
Awesome. Thanks for that, bro. So brothers, definitely learn Japanese. Please don't be ignorant and move to a country and expect to not learn Japanese. That's stupidity. Carry on, Tony.
Yes, and brother, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother, but one thing I wanted to mention on that too while it was on my head, don't just learn the language, learn the culture, learn what they like. So for brothers that are getting their passports or have their passports or can't go to Japan at the moment, get Netflix and watch those Japanese movies and Japanese dramas. They're subtitled. That'll give you, I know it's TV, but that'll give you a general idea of like what to go, what to do. A lot of Japanese, every Japanese, they love to eat. So if you get NHK World, watch NHK World News. I'm not trying to plug anything here, but they have a lot of programs where you can learn about where Japanese go to eat. And trust me, you get into that food, you're gonna find the right woman for you too.
Awesome. Thanks for that, bro. Aaron B, this isn't we ain't talking about porn here, bro. Come on. Keep it cordial, bro. Okay. I don't want to time you out again, but let's keep it very PG and cordial. Tony, let's speak about how should men dress? How should brothers dress in Japan? Should brother dress wearing skinny jeans like the the Japanese men do in Japan, skinny jeans and all that stuff? Or should we dress in an oversized t-shirt like the rappers do and the snapbacks and all that 90s throwback nonsense? And or should we dress casual? What's the best way that brothers should dress?
It's always casual. Casual is the best way. Now, if you're on the job, if you're at a Japanese company, you want to wear a suit, of course. You want to dress professional, depending on if you're in a front-facing position. But for the most part, you just, because like right now, summertime, I be walking around like, you know, with my polo shirt and my jeans and some nice sneaks, and I'm good to go. You know.
That's awesome, bro. And brothers, I'm gonna share a video that I posted a couple days ago. It's called "How to Dress to Attract Beautiful Women." It's a video where, you know, I show you how to dress really casual. You know, you don't need to be wearing designer clothes. You don't need to be buying a Gucci belt for $80 and all that silly nonsense. So let me post this video in the live stream chat, and brothers, watch it. You know, gain intel from it and start dressing like this, okay, brothers? So a couple more questions from me to Tony before I open up the phone lines. Tony, speak about the nightlife, you know, in Japan. You know, is that crazy? Is that a good scene for brothers to get dying, beautiful Japanese women? And are they checking for brothers in the nightlife as well? You know, speak on that, Tony.
Yeah, yes, they check. Like I said, they're checking for brothers all the time. I mean, every girl in Japan has got an eye on brothers. Trust me. You'll be surprised. You'll be amazed at who doesn't. Even the older women, younger or older. You know, of course, you know, I prefer the younger ones, and I think that that's the ones you should really be looking for. Like I said, older ones get kind of desperate. But no, the nightlife, you will have a good time over there. Some people, it depends. See, it's Tokyo, Osaka, Sapporo, Sendai, Fukuoka, you know, Hiroshima, Kobe. These are all world-class cities. And what I mean by world-class cities is I mean 24 hours, you can get what you want. You can enjoy what you want. You know, there's entertainment for everybody. That's what I mean by a world-class city. Like where I live near Seattle, Seattle's popular in the United States, but it's not a world-class city because at 2 o'clock, they shutting down. You can't just go get food at 3 o'clock in the morning in Seattle. You look around, you're like, where's it at? Vancouver's a world-class city. London is a world-class city. Hamburg is a world-class city. So you can go, I mean, nightlife is great. You can go anywhere you want to go. The thing is this, when you're out on the scene at night, you don't want to go in too many, you don't want to be like a lot of people. You might want to go like with a smaller group, like 2 or 3 people. You don't want like 5 or 6 people unless there are women mixed in there. Because Japanese get intimidated when you come up to them in a group. They're like, whoa, what's going on? And you got to watch the scene. You don't want to go out there and approach a Japanese girl if she's there with her girlfriend, because she's not there to dance. She's just there to have a drink and have a conversation with her girlfriend. More than likely, she's having male problems or job problems. So she's not going to be, apt to be picked up or talked to by a person that she has to struggle to speak English with.
Awesome, bro. That's fantastic. Thanks for that intel, brother. Let me ask you about traveling to Japan, right? Should brothers travel alone to Japan or travel in a group? You know, what's the best option?
To me, I would rather travel alone or just no more than one other person. Because here's the thing. I mean, I've traveled alone back and forth to Japan a lot. I've gone to Japan and stayed like 2 or 3 nights and came back to Seattle. And that's one of the big reasons why I live in the Northwest, because I got that nonstop flight from SeaTac to Narita. You know, I can't be puddle jumping all over the place. So yeah, you can travel. To me, I prefer, and I think it's better to travel alone or with, like I said, if it's your first time going to Japan, travel with someone. Although my first time on the mainland, I was by myself. And another thing I want to say, you ain't got to worry about the police bothering you. I'm walking down the street. I forgot my passport. Cops pull up, ask me where I'm from. I said I'm from the U.S. They're like, you have the passport? I said, oh, I'm sorry, officer, I left my passport. All they did was, okay, please. And they were like, please, next time, please bring your passport with you and have a nice night, sir. We're sorry to bother you. I didn't get my head slammed on the hood and stuff like they do in the U.S., handcuffed and shoved off or get shot by some cop. They treated me very nice. So you can travel in a group or by yourself. Either way is fine. But to me, traveling with 1 or 2 people is better.
Awesome, bro. And is every city in Japan safe for brothers?
Yes, it's very safe, even for the women. I mean, hell, I was walking around Tokyo at midnight with me and my wife and my little baby when he was a little baby the last time I was there. And it's like nobody bothers you. I've walked out a lot by myself at night. You know, you can even walk down the street if you feel it. I'm not the kind of person that likes to drink a lot. In fact, the strongest drink I might have is a beer or wine. I'm not, I don't get belligerently drunk. That's not me. But if you were that kind of person, you're still not going to have a problem. You can fall out on the street, sit on the street, and nobody will bother you. You lose your wallet. You go to the nearest Koban, which is a police box. They got your wallet and your money in that wallet because somebody took it over there. It's
Awesome.
very safe in Japan.
Damn, thanks for that, bro. I will open up the phone lines now. Before I do open up the phone lines, again, get the likes up. If you have not liked this video, please hit the like button. Your likes will be greatly appreciated. Again, if you are new to my channel and your first impression, your first gateway to my channel is watching this live stream, please hit the subscribe button. There'll be a lot more content coming like this. And when you press the subscribe button, make sure you press the notification bell and set it to always so you never miss a post, an upload, or a live stream from me. And welcome to the International Passport Movement. So I want to speak about body types in Japan, Tony. I prefer slim thick. So you know the fitness chicks, right? Where she's slim thick, she's curvy, she's got nice thighs, nice body, good assets, right? Can I find that in Japan? Slim thick gym woman, looks after herself. Is that possible, bro?
Yes, because a lot of Japanese, they ride bicycles, right? They ride around their bikes and they walk a lot. Japanese walk a lot and they walk up and down a lot of steps. So even if you meet a Japanese girl that doesn't work out, I mean, they're still going to make sure they stay in shape. That's how they are. But if you meet a Japanese girl that's not hitting the gym, she's still going to look good. What I like about the Japanese body are the legs. The legs, they got some beautiful legs. And the hips are not overly big. They're just right. And depending on what part of the country you get them from, the breasts are going to be nice or a little bit bigger than people imagine. You'll get all body types of it. You might get bottom heavy, which is the hips are big, but they got no breasts. It just depends on your liking. But you're going to see a lot of slim and trim Japanese over there.
So in terms of nice legs, what do you classify as nice legs? You, Tony, what's your
just the way they go up to the hip, just the way they look in the pants that they wear. If they wear those pants that they wear, just the way that the hips show up with the legs, or when you see them in mini skirts and the legs are, because Japanese girl will not. And I've seen this in the West, and it kind of shocked me when I lived after I got back. But Japanese girls will make sure that their legs are always shaved. Always. I mean, a lot of them get that perma shave where they ain't got to worry about growing no hair in the legs and nothing like that. I mean, they just know how to dress and they know how to show those legs over there.
Awesome. And so carry on, bro.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna say, so because some of them it's rare, but you'll see like some of them really got thick. They're too thick, the legs, but then that's something that they just been stressed out a lot. But the average girl over there, they got some really sweet legs, like I said, just the way they go to the hips and the small waist and just the flat stomach. I mean, you see that in Japan a lot.
What about hygiene? Is hygiene good amongst Japanese women?
Hygiene, to me, and I've been around a lot of countries in the world, it's the best in Japan.
Damn.
Because in Japan, see, in the wintertime and the summer, the Japanese, when they come home, they'll either take a shower or they'll jump in the hot tub. When they're done for the day, there's always some hot water, especially like my wife lived with her parents. So they always have the hot tub. The water is always hot in there, right? With covered up. So the guest, which is usually me, I'm the first person that gets to get into what they call a fudo. And then after that, my wife will get in, or my dad, or my father-in-law will get in. The women are the last ones to get in. But no, that is the cleanest country. These women are very clean. A lot of them won't even touch you until they make sure that they're clean, which is what I love. I mean, that just blew me away.
Damn, that's great to hear. I love a woman with good hygiene. So I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. Before I do so, I strongly suggest everyone watching this live stream right now to join my private exclusive Facebook group. Tony Berry will tell you that Facebook group is popping. We're dropping a lot of intel there regarding different countries. Brothers are telling us that Belarus is a spot for brothers and all these other countries. Brothers, join that Facebook group. I've just posted a link to it. Tony, do you have me in your background? Why do I hear myself speaking? Do you have me turned on in the background?
Oh no, that's not me. No, I just
Okay.
got you on this one stream.
Okay, it must be my audio, something like that. So, brothers, join my Facebook group. I'm telling you right now, it's Tony. Tell them what's happening in that face. Tell them how classic it is.
Brothers, it's beautiful. I mean, I make a lot of comments in that. You can get up there and say what you want. You know, you want to keep it PG, but you want to say what you feel. You can see, like, if you miss like videos, like I'm a busy guy, so if I miss a video, I go on Facebook. Oh, I gotta go watch it. Like the Costa Rica one, I gotta finish watching that. You know, if I miss something, I'm gonna watch it. If I'm interested in something, I'm gonna watch it. And there's a lot of activity in there. What I like about that Facebook group, man, is brothers are brothers. I mean, I don't find any simps in there. I just see men up in that group having a decent conversation about, you know, their values and about where they want to go.
There you go, straight from the legend himself. Brothers, join my Facebook group. We have 130 people watching this live stream. Join my Facebook group right now, because I will be closing it off very soon, because I don't want too much people on there. I want serious-minded, professional-minded brothers. So join my Facebook group, you know, before I close it off very soon. Now, apart from that, here is my Twitter as well. I strongly suggest you brothers to follow me on Twitter. Twitter is going to be popping. You know, I'll be posting a lot of tweets there, and I need your retweets, right, to push out the international passport movement. We want brothers to get their passports. We want brothers to understand that there's more to Black women than Keisha from the block. You know, understand that there's more to American women than women in America. Get your passport to experience what a true, natural, beautiful, feminine woman is. And you will find a woman like that abroad in different countries. So that is my Twitter. Follow me right now on Twitter. I have 95 people. I want to get it to 100 this week. You know, follow me right now on Twitter, brothers, and you can DM me regarding any questions that you want. Follow me on Twitter. Awesome. Now, I'm also on Instagram. And again, follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of updates on there regarding live streams, regarding who I will have on my panel and when live streams will take place, or what's on my mind. So I strongly suggest that you should also follow me on Instagram. That's also popping. Tony will tell you that as well. You know, I always post updates on there on my stories. Plus, you can DM me and ask me any questions. Going forward, I'm going to start having one-to-one calls, one-to-one audio calls, 1 hour audio calls with people who want to DM me. And I will be charging for that. So before I start charging, send your questions in, because very soon I will start charging, but I'll be doing 1 hour calls. And then we'll be discussing your travel plans. We'll be discussing what's happening in your life. And you can speak to me about your problems and how the women treat you. And I will simply encourage you to do better. You know, I will be that person to always check up on you. We can have 1 hour calls once a week, one-to-one audio calls. I would simply call you through IG or a different platform. So follow me on Instagram. That's coming very soon, and I will post updates on that. Again, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now let me open up the phone lines. Please be respectful to Tony. Any rudeness, any swearing, any animosity towards Tony, you will be permanently banned. There's a zero tolerance of rudeness against my my guests. And the PayPal, the PayPal, the Cash App, the super chats, it's all coming. So if you guys want to support, right, put a one in the chat if you're going to support me on this channel. Put one in the chat. Tony's already nodding his head. You know, I know Tony's going to support, definitely. So if you're going to support me, put one in the chat. Now here's the phone lines. Call in. I will pin it to the live stream. Call in and let's get it popping. Ask Tony questions regarding living in Japan and Japanese women. I see Zach Hayes, the brother. Let me bring in Zach Hayes.
What's up, Zach? What up, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
How you doing, brother?
Doing amazing. Doing amazing. How are you, IP?
Not too bad, bro. Not too bad, brother. How are you finding the live stream so far?
Amazing. Tony always speaks on. He always has a lot of great stuff to say about his experiences. Really fascinating guy. Always like the fact that you enforce discipline in your channel, people being respectful. Which I highly respect myself. So yeah, I'm just an honor to be here.
Awesome, brother. So do you have any questions for Tony?
So I do a lot of research in Japan, the agriculture. I'm sure you're familiar with Datsun National Park and Nikko National Park in Japan. Are you familiar with those parks that I just mentioned?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, all right, now a person like myself, I'm extremely big on environment, right? Like there's an environment with a lot of water. I'll probably go around like 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning when no one's there. Like to look at the water, I like to look at the sun. Like, are you a fan of just like meditation? Because I know that's practice in Eastern philosophy, like prana style breathing. Like, or are you still connected to like Western, Western religions like Christianity or Judaism? Like, are you a Muslim? Like what religion do you practice since you used to live in Japan?
Okay, so and I want everybody to know. So I live in the Seattle area, but I go to Japan a lot because my family's in Japan, my in-laws, and I've been practicing Buddhism actually in Japan. Like I became a Buddhist when I went to Japan. I think I was living there for like 4 or 5 years. And no, actually I was living there 2 years and I became a Buddhist. So I used to be a Christian, but I've been practicing Buddhism for a long time, man. And my karma is good. It's beautiful for me. And like you said, you like the water and everything like that. I mean, you can do that in Japan, man. It's beautiful. Japan is a beautiful country. I know where my wife is from, a place called Niigata. They got it all. And that's why she likes Washington State, because they got mountains, they got the ocean, they got the beautiful, like the good food, the rice, the best sake and rice in the country. The scenery is beautiful. The skiing is great. So if you're into that, yeah, you can get that practically anywhere in the country. But Niigata is really good for that.
So if you don't mind sharing, but you don't have to be too specific, but like, do you live near West Seattle?
No, I lived in the city. I lived in Central District, which is where a lot of Black people live before they start gentrifying. I lived there 9 years, but I live actually an hour south of the city. I live near Mount Rainier.
Okay.
In a little town near Mount Rainier called Buckley, like Buckley, Enumclaw. I'm like 20 miles east of Tacoma, which is like one of the other bigger cities on the west coast of Washington, on Western Washington. But I can get to Seattle in like 45 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm sure you've been to Alki Beach before, plenty of times.
Oh, yes. Alki. That was my stomping grounds. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, Alki is a very interesting place because, right, like the stone, like the rectangular shaped stone that's right next to the water. What was interesting is that stone connects all the way from the benches, right, all the way from there to the volleyball courts.
It's a power spot. Yes, it's a power spot.
Right. And I was out there about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, man, I would be walking just from the stone all the way just down Alki for about 2 or 3 hours, just looking at the sun. Gives me a lot of therapy, and even this stone that you see right here. So I can't say the person's name, but this stone is over 300 years old, right? And it's carved in some type of special leather. And he used to practice. He basically told me it's something with Japanese culture. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, so it's like I need to get through the call.
I'm sorry,
bro. I know it sounds interesting, bro. But do you have any more questions regarding Japan, or can I come back to you later on if that's okay?
Yeah, later on.
Right, awesome, brother. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, brother.
Let me bring in Sai Chi. What's up, Sai Chi?
How you doing?
Hey, not too bad, bro. A long time. Hold on, bro. The reason why I timed you out, Aaron B, because you said something stupid regarding sushi. I had to time you out, bro. Come on, I mean, let's be mature here, because I don't want any heat on my channel. You know, I always try to keep it PG. You know, PG. Let's get straight to the point. Let's not insult anyone, and let's not say something stupid. So sushi stuff, about all that stuff, please keep it respectable. So what's up, Chi? I'm doing okay, bro. Happy to see you. It's been quite a long time. I think I spoke to you 2 weeks ago. You keeping well, brother?
Yes. Before I say what I have to say to Tony, I did want to say thank you because just the past like 2 weeks that I've been seeking, it's kind of been messing around and whatever. I do have one girl from Sweden and another girl from Australia in my inbox, and I will say I definitely notice a difference in comparison to a lot of the white girls here in the U.S. Even though Australia does have some feminism, I definitely see a difference, and I see what you were talking about when you mentioned your experiences in Melbourne. So thank you for that. But I'll say that for another live stream. Anyways, so Tony, I'm very glad to have you here, and it seems like you're an excellent resource on everything Japan, which is wonderful for everyone that's tuning in. So here are some of my questions that I have for you. I'm going to keep it short and sweet and to the point because I've seen there's other people online. Question number one, similar to what I asked that other guy Theo a couple weeks ago. Are you familiar with like a lot of like the like dance hall, like reggae type clubs that they have out there?
They have them all over, bro. That's the thing. They have them all over. The way I would do it, a lot of times I don't even remember the clubs I go to. I just know the sections that they're at. I mean, you can find a lot of those clubs in Tokyo, Shibuya, Osaka, where I used to live. They're in like this place called Amemura, which is like American Village, man. I mean, you see Japanese walk around with dreads, everything, and the clubs are banging in that part. And they love their reggae. Trust me, they love their reggae and the dance hall. They love it.
So I would like to ask you from your experiences, number one, when it comes to the Japanese girls that you have attracted personally, Grant, I don't know how long you've been out there. Do you notice, how do I ask it? The ones that you as a black male attract out there, do you know how like when you're in America, right? There's certain like white girls where you look at them and the way they dress and you can tell they like black dudes. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Is it similar in Japan? Or is it like, no, it's kind of like a free-for-all, if you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a free-for-all. The only way, if you can tell that they like brothers, like I said, they're around the bases. They're around the military, and they're dressing the way that attract brothers to them. But the average Japanese girl is not getting dressed to attract a certain man. She's just getting dressed because that's her MO. She just likes dressing nice, and she likes taking good care of herself.
Okay. Secondly, I would like to ask from your experiences in regards to long-term partnerships. Do you feel as though with Japanese women, do they feel any kind of obligation to actually contribute value to their relationships with men, as opposed to, oh, it's all about what he can provide for me?
Oh, that's a good question. No, they contribute a lot to the relationship. I know, if you're looking for monetary value, it depends on the woman, but for the most part, when you get into a relationship with a Japanese woman, meaning when you marry them, you're expected to provide everything because they're going to be raising your children for you.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's just common sense. That's why I tell brothers, when you're going overseas, any country, you want to have that wealth in play. Because once you got that wealth, you got power. Once you got that power, you got options. Now, we'll say this. The Japanese, there's a saying in Japan that they make better girlfriends than wives. In some points, that's true. Japanese are very good chasing the man or trying to get things when they want it. But once they get it, I would say like 40% of them don't really know how to maintain it. I mean, they can maintain a relationship, but they're not chasing anymore. It's better to keep them chasing all the time.
Okay. And my final question for now, I would like to ask you is, so about a year ago in the gym, I had this older white gentleman that had lived in Japan for 2 years tell me, he was like, you being your height, I'm 6'1" for reference. And he was like, like with your physique, I can tell you right now that you being a black guy, if you went out to Japan, you would have a handful of girls trying to get with you. I was like, oh, interesting. That's nice. But one thing that he mentioned about like marriage out there is that when you get married, apparently the trying to be like PG, the snuggling seems to go down quite a bit. And that's just how they do it in their culture. If you get what I mean when I say that.
Yes. I mean, and it's true. I've heard of that. It depends on the man, though, because they're going to pick up. See, a lot of men, the problem that a lot of Westerners have when they go to Japan is when they marry a Japanese woman, they tend to fall into Japanese ways. In the typical Japanese marriage, you don't have a lot of snugging. And then that's the unfortunate thing about being married to a Japanese. If you're going to go through their culture, do everything. In other words, if you're going to turn into a simp. But if you're a man, you control the game. I mean, like I said, I can attest to it. I've been married to my wife for 14 years, and we don't have any problems. So it depends on the person. I wouldn't say they're like a cat, but they're going to behave like the relationship, like the person that they're in the relationship with.
Okay. So you haven't noticed any changes personally after you got married like that? It wasn't drastic?
No, the only thing I think that you would come across is like when, and I think this works with any woman, is when your wife has a baby. Like when the baby comes out, you can't do anything for the 6 weeks. But a lot of women, like I said, Japanese aren't good at multitasking. So they're not going to be like trying to do many things at one time. They're only going to focus on one thing. When you have the baby, they're going to be focused on the baby for some time. It may take a few months, it may take a year, but it just depends on the woman. But they're going to be channeling all the energy on that child at first. And then they'll get back. If they're a good one, then they'll get back into the flow. And a lot of times, too, when you're dating a Japanese woman, you have to see how their parents are. So if their parents don't look like they're the snuggle type, they more than likely will not be the snuggle type with you after you get married, too.
Appreciate it, Tony. Back to you, IP.
Thanks for that, Sai Chi. Stay on the line, bro. I have a question for you, Tony. So is it common for, two questions actually. Is it common for like a 35-year-old man to be dating like a 22-year-old Japanese woman? And do young Japanese women prefer older men? So 2 questions, bro.
Yes, thank you, brother. And I'm a witness. I'm my own witness. So when I met my wife was 21 and I was 43, man. I'm 22 years older than my wife. Women don't care how old you are in Japan. It is common for an older man to date Japanese women, and Japanese women do like older men because I asked my wife, I said, well, how come you haven't had a boyfriend? How come you not? She said, well, I'm in college. She said, the reason being is because the young guys are immature. They don't know what they want. She says, I need a man that knows what he wants. Basically, she wanted a man that was like her dad, who spent 34 years in the Japan Air Self-Defense Force, who was a very disciplined, well-mannered individual. She saw that in me. So that's why she hooked up with me on that. She could care less how old I was.
And is cheating a big thing in Japan? I've heard that quite often. Like it's quite common for cheating to happen in relationships in Japan. It's a big thing in Japan. Is that true, Tony?
Yeah, it's. I wouldn't say the women. I say it's more the male has the choice. And here's the thing that you got to understand. When cheating in the West and cheating in Asia are two different things. In Europe, it's probably even different. It's all about being a responsible male. If you're a high value male and you go out, you're not. I mean, like Kevin Samuels had said, you go high value, do high value man cheat, and he wasn't saying go cheat. But as a high value man, you can choose whatever you want to do in your relationship with your woman. The thing in Japan is, if you are going to go out there and do other things with other women, just don't let them know about it. If they find out about it, they're not going to break up a home with 3 kids and leave them out there starving. That's not what they do. They may act different at first because they wasn't expecting that, but they will eventually come back around. But Japanese women, as feminine as they are, they understand the nature of the man. And that's what's beautiful about them. They're not going to stop you from being a man. Just like that thing we had in the group the other day about that girl that got in the group who got in it with me, and I had to delete some of my comments because I was surprised she was in there and she was trying to say, well, why are you doing this? See, a Western woman would try to disrupt a male-only group. A Japanese woman, being as feminine, be like, oh my God, I'm in the wrong group. Guys, I'm sorry. Let me get out of here. I don't care what you talk about. So basically, they don't care what you do. As long as you're a responsible male, you take care of them and you don't bring home no other children.
Awesome, bro. And let's say a man cheats on his Japanese wife. Will she try and cheat on him to get back at him like Western women do, or will she just let it go and tell him don't cheat again? Western women, once you cheat on one of them, they will cheat on you to get back at you. Is that the same case with Japanese women as well? No.
It depends on women in this case, but no, that's not a gimme in Japan. If they find out you cheating on them. Like, I was in a marriage and I cheated on, I've been married 3 times in Japan. I was married to a Japanese woman and I cheated on her and told her about it and she knew about it, but she didn't leave. She stayed there. We didn't get separated, divorced until 2 or 3 years later after the fact. So they don't seem to care about that. Like I said, to Japanese, sex is like drinking water. They understand the nature of the beast. They understand what men go through, and they let men be men. That's what people got to understand about Japan. In Japan, a man can be a man. So they're not going to do it just because you did it. They're not going to come back and say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna do it." That's not how they work.
Damn, thanks for that, bro. You said you were married 3 times. Damn.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a while to learn how to deal with them, if you will, in a long-term relationship.
You were married 3 times to Japanese women, right? Each of them.
Yes. Yes.
That's crazy, Tony. Hey, you're a legend. Let me bring in what's his name? James Stone. How you doing, brother?
How you doing, IP?
What up,
I'm doing good, bro. How you finding the live stream so far?
Oh man, this is great. This is great. I'm gonna be quick.
Okay.
How you doing, Mr. Tony?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing, James? What's going on?
I'm doing fine. I'm a martial arts guy. What's the spots to like I'm into like samurai and stuff like that. Where do I go?
Oh man, you can go anywhere. I mean, they got them all over, man. They got all, the scene is Japan. I mean, you're in the right country for that. It just depends on what you want to get out of it. Like if you want to, like they have these festivals all over Japan, so you can kind of see what they do during the festivals. Of course, you got the museums to go to. The scene is everywhere. It just depends on what you want to do. You can get to the temples scene, the shrine scene if you want. It just depends on where you want to go. Kyoto's a good spot. Kanazawa is a really good spot because now people are starting to go to Kanazawa. Now that they got the Shinkansen going over there, you can go up north to Aomori, Akita. It depends on where you want to go and what you want to do.
Okay, that's great. And I'd like to thank IP for the platform, and also to Zach Hayes. We're pretty much the same age. I'm 21, about to be 22, and I'm glad I found this channel. Like oh my God, there's women that are submissive outside of the country. Like I didn't. I thought it was too good to be true. I thought I was, because I'm in Atlanta. I'm in Atlanta. It's rough out here, man.
Brother, let me say, if I can say this, because I know these young brothers, man, and I'm always looking out for my young bloods too. Here's what I'm saying, man. Here's why you got to be a man and you don't want to be a simp. I just had a neighbor, man, of mine kill himself the other day because he was too much of a simp, because he broke up with his woman. He let that get him down. Trust me, guys, no woman is worth you losing your life over. And that's how men have come to be in the West, to where they made us so crazy to we're actually killing ourselves. That is not the way to be, brothers. Get your passports, get away from the drama, man. I'm telling you, you'll be shocked at how these women treating you overseas.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that's a fact,
please
bro.
don't simp.
What was that, James?
Yeah, I said please don't simp.
It's not definitely. Don't simp. Don't date Western women. Just get your passport. This is why I created my channel in the first place, to share the intel and the knowledge. I was seeing brothers, having their heads down, always having problems in their relationships with Western women, and I just thought, wow, I need to get the word out there to brothers that there's more to Keisha, there's more to black women than Keisha from the block. You don't have to deal with Keisha, right? Travel, get your passport. There's women all around the world, and they are feminine, they are beautiful, they are fit, feminine, and cooperative. Is that it, James?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, bro. Stay on the line. I'll get back to you later on. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Let me bring in Saint Chocolate. That's a funny name. What's up, bro?
Oh, Saint
How's it going, IP? Zach, Tony, thank you for being here today.
What up, brother?
Hey, so I have a very quick question. I was actually quite surprised that you mentioned Kanazawa, because I was an exchange student right before they brought in the Shinkansen, and so I love that city. But anyhow, I'm studying software development here in the States, and I don't have a degree. I see no value in it, but I do understand the Japanese definitely value college degrees. As a software developer, in your experience, I mean, you have a degree, but for me personally, would I need a degree in order to work in Japan and get that work visa?
Yeah, yes, you do, brother. Because one thing about Japan, you need to know, Japan is what we call a licensed country. So when you have a license, Japanese consider you an expert. So you have to have that piece of paper, and then they will, whatever comes out of your mouth is golden. So without that paper, you're just standing in. You're just perpetrating, is what they would say. But you got to have that paper, brother. So if you're close to getting it, you want to get it, and you're being the software. I'm telling you, being the dev is beautiful, man, because we can work anywhere. Hell, my company just told me, hell, I can work overseas if I want. So when I go in Japan on vacation, I can stay there 3 months and work for 2.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, excellent. So
yes,
as far as looking for American companies in Japan, if I'm understanding correctly, American companies, they're a little bit more lenient with the whole college degree thing. Because I'm telling you, Tony, I have no ambition or no desire to get one. I don't find any value in it. So if I have to go the independent route and just live in Japan on my own terms, I'll take that route.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So you can still live in Japan without a degree. I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Here's what you do. There's a brother out there that the brother I mentioned earlier that owns the lodge. He bought a ski lodge a couple years ago, and he's living in Japan on a business visa because he has a business, and he only spent $60,000 to get his lodge. Because what you do is you go to the countryside of Japan where people are moving out of the country. They want to go to the city, but you get all this cheap land.
Find cheap land.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. I'll look into that because, I have, like I said, I see the value in getting a STEM degree, but outside of that, it's a no-go. So, hey, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. IP, thank you for making this possible.
No problem.
Right,
thanks, brother. Thank you. And I remember that IP. Thanks, brother.
Okay, let me bring in DS. What is up, DS?
Hi, everybody. Hi, IP. Hi, Mr. Tony.
What's up, DS?
Thank you for having me on here.
What's up, bro? Hey, are you a new viewer to my channel, brother?
Yes, I am. I've actually been watching a couple of your videos just like a week ago. The algorithm really helped me find out, and then I followed the group a few days ago, and the intel you guys have, it's so, it's just unbelievable because it's really hard. I feel like sometimes to find the right information, a lot of things are generalized, and sometimes it's not specific for brothers like us, educated people who are, they want something more than the Western girl and stuff like that. So finding, your page, your channel and everything, it's honestly been a blessing. And I've been taking notes.
Yeah, bro.
And
so,
doing my homework.
Which video referred you to my channel? What was the video you were watching where you found my channel? A
couple of the Japanese videos, just because that's what I'm more focused on. I'm actually planning to teach English in Japan next year. I unfortunately got delayed due to the pandemic, but I already hired with the company, and I'm gonna be in the Kansai region. I don't know my true placement, but that's the area I'm gonna be in. So I want to know as much as possible. I want to be prepared. I got my degree, all that stuff. I did a little bit dating. I'm in the U.S., Washington, D.C., and it's tough out here. Girls, highly opinionated, very PC culture. Man, I'm sick of it. I was like, you know what? I got my passport. I visit Japan before the borders close, early 2020, and it's life-changing. And I've been a little bit of Hong Kong as well, traveling abroad, and it's like a different world. And so I'm just trying to get as much information as I can to get prepared, because I'm ready for the women over there and just the life change, and all that experience.
Awesome, bro. So it's one last question from me. So what was the first video you watched on my channel, and how did you specifically found my channel? It's just for research purposes.
Yes, of course. I literally just typed in, like, I think it was the video before Theo. That was something to do with Japanese information. Maybe it was like with the Brazilian one. Yeah. I can't remember specifically, but I remember typing in, Japanese, Black dating, that type of relationship advice for Black people traveling abroad. And that's how I feel like the algorithm kind of linked it up. And I saw your video, and at first it was one of those recorded live streams, and I'm like, 3 hours? This better be good. And honestly, it was worth it. So that's how I came across all your videos and all that stuff.
You know, can I say something, brother? I'm really excited for this brother DS, man. I love seeing new brothers up here, man. I love spreading this information out to brothers because we so deserve to be living good, brothers. We so deserve to have a high value female because we're high value. In our own country, they downplay us. But you trust me, when you get out of the US, you see how high value brothers really are, man. We are in demand. And you going to Kansai, brother. I lived in Kansai, Osaka. I was there over 3 years, man. I've been all over Kyoto, Kobe, everywhere, Wakayama, Nara, you know. So, brother, you're going to love it out there, man. You may not want to come back to this country.
Hey, DS, do you have any questions for Tony?
Yes, I do. My first question is, I know you guys been talking about the clubs and you know, picking up main women from there, but from your experience, Tony, do you think the clubs are a better way of picking up women or the online dating scene? Which is prefer, or is it a mix? Like, what's kind of the deal with it? Like, is it very traditional to the point where I got to go to the clubs, the bar scenes, you know, maybe the gym, you know, parks, or is it I can play both, you know, Tinder and, you know, OkCupid, like, or should I just stay away from that type of stuff?
No, you want to hit the club. I mean, anybody's when they get to a new country, the first thing they want to do is get in the club scene. The club scene is not a bad scene. It's not a bad scene at all. What you're going to realize, though, is you need to be very selective about who you're going to call a mate after you meet him in the club. So, I mean, like I said, like I was telling earlier to IP, a lot of women go there to look for brothers, but they may not necessarily meet brothers. The chances of them meeting brothers are pretty slim. They hitting like 40s on a batting average, right? They ain't hitting on 300. They might hit a .40. So they're very rarely meeting brothers, even though they're going there. And it's funny because I know IP was asking me, like, are those women not the best women? They may not be the best women, but then again, they may not be the worst women either. Because Japanese, like I said, they segment everything. Okay, I'm going to the club, I'm dancing. Now I left the club. Okay, it's time for me to go home. I got to go to work. They don't, connect the two. That's what they do. So you're gonna have to learn that on your own. But you can meet women anywhere. The cafes are the best place to meet them. When you're out, like I said, they love to eat, man. When you're out there eating, they love to eat. And especially like I used to go to the cafes all the time. I'll drop in the Starbucks, be on my laptop or something, and then boom, whoa, you meet them a lot, man, in those places. You don't necessarily just have to meet them in the clubs. The clubs are good to go to check out the scene, but they have a lot more places than that to meet them. Because they're going to be coming up to you, trust me.
All right.
In the train, train station, they're going to be coming up to you.
Hey, hold up, DS. DS has his book out. This guy's been taking notes. He's been answering all the questions.
I'm checking him out, man.
Hey, this guy's ready for it, Brad. Hey, go on, bro.
Yeah.
No, you know what I like about brothers, man, is when we're overseas like that, we just gravitate toward each other and we automatically hit it off with each other. You rarely find brothers trying to mess other brothers over because there's an abundance of women. When we got an abundance of women and we're men, it's beautiful. Trust me, it's beautiful.
Definitely.
All right. My second question is, I've heard a lot of horror stories with military men and like divorce and, the Japanese women taking the kids, if they're overseas or in America, they, bad marriage, they take the kids all the way back to Japan. Have you heard any kind of like crazy stories with other brothers that, with crazy girl type stories where they just dealing with issues or, anything of that nature?
Yeah, yes, brother. Yeah, you do have that. That does come out. In fact, myself, unfortunately, I didn't have any children with this woman, but I was married to the second Japanese woman, and I basically call that an 8-year one-night stand. I met this woman, man, and I didn't know a lot about her. Basically, what they do is they like to reinvent themselves. So she was from the Tokyo area. I brought her back to the States. Then, I took her to Saudi Arabia. So I didn't have everything she wanted when I got back to the States. So she ended up marrying somebody in the military. Now I'm hearing that they're having problems. I don't keep up with her, but I know women like that have issues. The reason why they have issues is because they have a high body count. A lot of times, guys, if they don't do their intel, they're going to go out with a woman that has a higher body count than they think. They have done things than they realize, haven't spoken about what they've done. And the way you can tell that is of the age of the woman. What I've discovered is that women that are way past 25 that get married to these guys end up having higher divorce rates because the guys find out later on, like, whoa, I didn't know you knew that, or I didn't know you knew this, or I didn't know you knew who, or so and so, or what. And the woman will know more about the Western world than she is let out to be from the start. That's why if you are going to get serious about a Japanese woman, make sure you date them anywhere from 20 to 23, because they're clean. They don't know a lot of stuff. They don't know the game, and they don't care about knowing the game. They just care about raising the family.
Okay. And for brothers, is there a perfect age you saying? Like I'm 26, so like, is that a good age for like marriage material as I go older, or they're not gonna take
you're 26. Wait till you get in your mid-30s, man. You got tons of years left to experiment, brother.
You know, sometimes some of the women just, you know, they see you 25, 24, they see you as a baby, you know, and some girls just like, and you might be a year different than me. And here in the West, they just, damn, I'm like, okay. You know, it's like, you're not that much older than me. So I was just curious if that's kind of a similar thing out there.
No, they don't do it similarly, but they basically look at your maturity level. I know being at 26, I mean, you're not really inclined to marry anybody over there or to get in a real, I mean, you might be in a relationship, but the best way to be with a Japanese woman, brother, is to be older than her and have her younger than you. Because she's going to, you know, Asia, even though Japan is on the tip of that, Korea is a lot more Confucius than Japan. But if you're the older person has the advantage, no matter what. So if you got that gap, you're going to have a lot more respect, a lot more advantages. You're going to say what you want to say. They're going to be listening to whatever you want to say. More than say if you were like Zach Hayes at 22, he's going to get a lot of women over there. He doesn't have to necessarily get serious about the women. You know what I mean? But you know, he might be in that relationship where he may find one that he really cares about. If that's the case, go for it. But for the most part, they're going to look at you like you're still kind of immature, but they don't play it against you because you're a brother. Because they don't know our maturity level, if you will.
I see. All right. Yeah, that's very helpful just because, you know, again, a lot of articles I've been, you know, researching just for a while just because I'm preparing to go. They don't really break it down specifically about, you know, what these women are kind of looking for. It's kind of just generic information where it's like, man, I need the breakdowns, man. You know, you want to be as prepared as possible. So I really appreciate all the insight.
How many more questions do you have, DS?
Actually, that's all my questions. You know, obviously, you know, more questions are always going to pop in, but for right now, I'm good, man. Thank you, IP, for letting me speak. But yeah, that's it for now.
Awesome, bro. Stay on the line. I'll come at you later on for more questions. Okay, bro? Fantastic. Let me bring in John Smith. John Smith. What is up, John Smith?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, bro. How you doing? You okay?
I'm doing good. I just want to thank you guys for doing this. This is so amazing. And Tony, this is amazing. Thank you so much for the time you've taken and just taking that out of your day. I really appreciate it. And also International Passport, I want to thank you as well for hosting this. This is also amazing. And all the guys here that are asking questions, amazing questions. Thank you, all of you guys, for doing that. Also, the way I found your show is I was researching traveling videos and the manosphere. So that's how I just want to give you some intel onto that. So I was listening to manosphere and traveling and maybe a little bit of dating videos. So that's how I came across your videos.
Awesome. Thanks for that, brother. That's fantastic. So you're new to my channel, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Welcome, bro. Fantastic. Welcome to the movement where I encourage brothers to get their passports. Do you have any so basically what was the first video you watched of my channel?
I don't remember what was the first video that I watched, but I think it was definitely related to dating Asian women. Something within those lines.
Awesome,
probably
bro.
Chinese or Japanese or Korean, something like that.
Awesome, bro. And okay, welcome. Thanks for subscribing, and make sure you press the notification bell to always, so you never miss a upload from me or live stream or post. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for Tony?
Yes, I do. So, Tony, my first question, I have 3 questions. So, my first question is, so what is the scene of Christian Japanese women? Like, what is finding a church girl versus a fake Japanese church girl and her family background? And let's say I'm going to Japan to go to marry, I'm looking for a wife that is a Christian and that is a believes in Christ and Christianity and all of that. And what should I be looking for? What are pitfalls? Can you talk a little bit about that and what if and also yeah, just the difference between like finding a fake church girl that goes to church and then she's actually like a party girl like here in the US or like an actual girl that believes in Christ and she follows the faith and whatnot. If you can talk a little bit about that, I'd appreciate it.
Tony, before you answer that, I'm also going to get Theo WF on the call to also give his opinion on that as well. But go on, you go first, Tony.
Yes, and I was looking at that comment that Theo made. What up, brother Theo? So my experience in Japan is most Japanese aren't religion. They don't believe in religion. I would say about 10% of them would have some sort of like a cult or believe in Buddhism or believe in, and lower than that, Christianity. A lot of you, it's going to be hard for you to find a Japanese that really does believe in Christianity. You may see them at having church weddings, and or they'll have a Buddhist or a Shinto funeral. Like I said, they only get into the moment. If that's what they need at the time, they'll do that. But you'll rarely find that. You'll find more Christians in Korea than you'll find in Japan.
Really, in Korea?
Oh
yes.
yeah. There's a zillion Christians in Korea. It has to be at least 50% Christian. It's a paradise for Christian women. Let me go and answer this. So I was involved in the churches in Japan. First, you just need to go to a church, find one to go to. The ratio of single Christian women to Christian men is 7-1. And so you need to go in there, find an area with women that you like. Basically, you can visit a few churches, and then try to just talk one up and see what it's like. That's it. That's why I say my first serious girlfriend that I had was from church. So you might find some interesting stories. You might find that she is a party girl that wouldn't, because what Tony is saying is that they compartmentalize, which is very true. They can go be the party girl and then go to church, and it's no big deal for them to do one or the other. And then you might say, well, what about Shinto or Buddhism? And they come out with this other opinion, and you're like, oh, you're not really Christian. You're just in the moment, even though you've gone to church for like the last 2 years. And so you can actually have that. So you can find strong ones, but you have to search for them. It's a very hard market to find, but you can find some gems. That's for true.
When you mentioned the 7-1 ratio, I just want to make sure. Did you mean 7 women to 1 man, or 7 men to 1 woman? 7
women to 1 man.
Gotcha.
That's crazy, Theo. So sorry, John Smith. So you're saying that let me clarify this with you, Theo. The Christian Japanese women, are they like reformed hoes, or are they actually Christian, like real Christians where they believe in God, they're God-fearing, they have low body counts? Are they mostly reformed hoes?
No, they wouldn't be reformed. They would be current hoes and going to church.
Yes.
Yeah, but they may or may not be. This is again, Tony would definitely understand this. She might be really solid, and then she's actually like fake going out and to the clubs, or it could be vice versa. You don't know which one it's going to be, so you just have to go and ask. You have to ask her questions and get to know her. I mean, I remember one girl. I mean, I'll talk about various problems that I had in the church with Christian women there. I just want to say this. So like, what I found out was that a lot of the women wanted the guys to make a lot of money, like well over $100,000 a year, which is 1000 man. And like a lot of the guys in that church did not make it, and even though they're Western guys, they were making like $6,000 a month tops. They're English teachers and they're happy, and so the women wouldn't marry them because they didn't make enough money, which I thought was stupid. Like, that's not what Christianity is about. But the women actually sat there for years waiting for the guys, and the guys never appeared. So that you get that kind of stupidity in there. Yeah, it's there. I mean, I saw some of the most beautiful, sexy girls in the churches. But you didn't know. Like, are you going out getting your freak on, or are you not? I mean, are you following? Do you read the Bible? Do you know what the Bible is? And they've been in church for 10 years, and you're just kind of sitting back like, huh, okay. So you can't really hold it to a certain level. I'd say Japan is multiple degrees of gray. There is no black and white. It's just gray.
It depends on their agenda. If they have that agenda, they're just going to follow that agenda. If it's going to get their goal that they want, then they're going to follow that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for that intel, both Theo and Tony. Do you have any more questions at all, John Smith?
Yeah. How do you screen for women that are hoes, prostitutes in church? Like, what are the guidelines? Like, they come in and you're like, okay, you read the Bible like you said, but what are some other details in church that you would look for? Because there's this gray area. Because I think what you mentioned about women compartmentalizing, which I think is dangerous, when a woman begins to start compartmentalizing her life, there's different boxes that she starts creating, and then you are one of those boxes, and then everything else is another box, and you actually don't know about the other boxes, which is very dangerous. So what is a screening process that a Christian man would use to find, and this could apply to every woman in the world, but specifically in Japan, I want to make it culturally accessible. So specifically in Japan, how would a man screen for a woman, for a Japanese woman?
The younger the better. The younger the better.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The younger the better. The law of nature. If they're really young, that means they got a low body count. They haven't had all these experiences. You got to understand, like Theo was saying, Japanese, they compartmentalize, but they look at sex, they look at these things different than the West.
Yeah.
For them, just because you're going to go out and sleep around doesn't mean you're a whore. It just means that you're enjoying your life experiences, which you should be doing as a human being.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And so you just have to sit back and get to know them. I mean, so like there's one girl I dated in church, and I got to know her over a few months. Just kept on talking, and over time I found out that she had done porn.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened to me, man.
What?
I know what you're talking about.
And she had deflowered 4 guys in the church.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
sitting there, I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, holy, like, so I mean, you have, that's why I say you have to get to know them. You just have to sit back going, you're not going to do an execution. You're not going to use power there. You're just going to sit back and wait and try to figure things out. I mean, just kind of go with the flow. That's why you got to be dating a lot of women at the same time, because you can do compare and contrast and try to see what's going on. Because you might find some like really crazy stuff going on. Some kinky stuff.
Yeah. It's
and
like,
then I want to say one thing. You're in Kansai, right?
Yeah.
So I dated one girl, the first Japanese girl I dated. I said, I'm from Illinois, and she says, "Oh, I'm kinky." And I was like,
"Oh man."
Yes. You understand the joke?
Yes.
Okay, so because they have an area in Kansai named Kinky.
Yep, kinky. Yep.
And so that's what she thought it was normal to say, I'm kinky. I said, I'm dating you. Like,
and if she thinks that's an advantage, she's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah. She had no idea what it meant in English. I was like, thank you.
Hey,
Theo's right though. The Japanese, they reinvent themselves. I know, like that 8-year one-night stand I was in. That girl I found out later on too. It was too late. I was married to her. She was in porn. She said she did soft porn, which soft porn, I don't care soft or hard, it's still porn. And they don't think nothing of it. They're like, oh yeah, because when Japanese is more like a shame society over guilt. West is guilt, Japanese is shame. So they won't say anything, but if they get caught, then they're ashamed. But as long as they don't get caught, they don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that any more questions, John, or is that it?
Yeah. I have my last question, and I'm basically gonna ask a couple of things, but I'm gonna put it into a sort of a question here.
Actually,
so
John,
you
do you
guys
mind
can,
answering that later on? I'll come at you later on, okay? If that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Go
All
ahead.
right, stay on the
Thank
line,
you.
bro. So I've got a question for both Tony and Theo. So let's speak about divorce rates in Japan. Like first question is it quite high in Japan? And second question is, do they normally give the children to the woman even though the woman cheated on the man or did something dirty and the man wanted to divorce her? How's it like in Japan?
Theo,
Tony
you want to
first.
take that one, man? But man. So okay, the thing with that is, and I know Theo's gonna have a lot more input on this too. I respect whatever that brother says about this. The thing is the women will usually get the children because the man doesn't really want anything to do with it after that. But a lot of times they won't be paying child support either. The women will not accept anything from the man because here's the thing: in Japan, even if they get divorced, if the man is given money support to the children or to the wife, now she feels obligated to give her body to him or to do things for him that she doesn't necessarily want to do. She just wants to be separate from him. But if he's going to be paying her money and all of this, then he's going to come over there. He's going to get some once in a while. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. It still feels like they're married, but they're just living apart. Divorce is not high in Japan. It is getting worse by the year because, like I said, a lot of men are simping, and the women are finding out that they're simps, and they want a man. They don't really want a simp. They want a man. So that's the only reason why I see it going up. Theo has more input on that too, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The divorce rate is very low. It does happen. It's higher among foreigners, but it's still very low. I have friends who actually had the mothers kidnap the kids, and so it's legal to do in Japan. They just disappear. I have some good stories about this one. So for the most part, as long as things are pretty kosher, I mean, I'm just straight out honestly speaking. Most of if the girl really likes the foreigner, the Japanese girl becomes insatiable and she just keeps on going and going. That's what most of my friends had, and there's no threat of divorce. He's limping around in the morning. That's the way it is.
Is it possible for Theo? Is it possible for men to also kidnap the children, and that's perfectly normal in Japan?
Yeah. I have a story about this. Yeah. I got a good story about this. It's really funny. But for the most part, it doesn't happen. For divorce, it's very easy process. You sign the same document basically that you had for marriage. It's just a reversal. It's a different box, and you give. You don't have to even give it a reason, and you just go to the shiakusho, which is the city hall, and you just submit it. That's it. It's done. Your marriage is over.
Does she take half your stuff, like half your assets, your stock portfolio?
No. They just say, for example, have you agreed on the asset distribution? Have you agreed on everything? And you say yes, and then that's it. You go on your merry way. She goes to work, and life continues. You don't have to lose anything.
Yeah, what I wanted to add to that, bro. Yeah, in Japan, they do their best to keep you out of the court systems. They have lawyers and court systems, but Japanese mostly always settle everything outside of court. You go to court at the last minute, not like in the West where they'll go to court over a paper napkin.
Correct.
Awesome. All right, thanks for that, brothers. Let me just put someone on blast real quick. He said something about what did he say here? I hear to say, but church is interesting now. Facts. A lot of people talking about I can find a wife in church, blah blah blah. There's a lot of holes in churches. There's a lot of women who have disgusting past. You got to be careful, brothers. Church is not the place to find a good woman anymore, like it was in the past. Maybe you might find some, but the majority of women in church are reformed holes or still holes doing dirty stuff. Now, let me bring in. There's a guy with a very weird name. Is that Zed? E?
It's King Sigma, man. It's a Sigma symbol.
Well, what's up, bro? You okay?
Oh no, I'm good, bro. Just listening to you guys. I learned about your channel recently, and I like this topic today.
How did you come across my channel recently, bro? What was the
Well, I create content as well, and I did a upload I think like a year ago with a bunch of guys, and we were talking about travel. So your icon being live started to come up in my right panel for like travel topics, because it was a video where I was, you know, letting people know that they should be traveling, because there was a lot of conversation about a year ago where brothers that have never been out of the country and don't have access to you know, that kind of experience. There was a little bit of hate out there in social media. So myself and a lot of other Black men here in social media, we kind of linked up and started, you know, fighting back against this anti-travel rhetoric against Black men, because, you know, this is definitely at the middle of the George Floyd riots and things like that were going on. And I think a lot of Black men, especially between like 2018 and now, have been asking the question, like, you know, we're in a country where our ancestors have been, I don't know where you guys are, but I'm in the United States. You know, we've been here for like 26 generations, and yet we're still dealing with issues that our fathers, our grandparents, and all of them have experienced. Like, we haven't made a lot of progress in terms of like race relations in regards to Black men and the rest of society. So a lot of Black men are starting to say, hey, we got to start exploring the planet and seeing what our experience will be with interfacing with different cultures. So that's kind of how I started to, like, you know, have more and more conversation with a lot of the traveling brothers. And what brought me to this specific panel is that, you know, I have like 10 days off in the August, September, and I'm looking for a nice place to travel, and I have Asia on my list, and Japan is at the top of the list. But I was kind of wondering from people on the panel, of the Asian countries, what your top 3 countries would be for a person that's never been to Asia at all. Like, would you go to Japan first, Philippines, or Thailand? So I'm kind of just getting a survey, because I'm going to make my decision sometime at the end of the month on where I'm going to go for a week or 2.
Go to Japan first, brother. Number 1.
Japan, okay.
Yeah, go to Japan first. In fact, you'll have a very hard time leaving.
Yeah,
I mean, just straight out, it is a riot. I mean, I would even go to 3 countries. I would just go to Japan. Like, it's that good. If you really wanted 3, I'll give 3. I mean, I would do Japan, Philippines, and Thailand.
Okay.
But I mean, I would stay away from like Japanese is good. Don't go Thailand, because Thailand might be hard to leave. But Japan is zany. It's crazy.
Why did you say Thailand might be hard to leave? Why is that?
Theo, keep it PG, yeah.
Hold on. I mean, it is. I can't. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, I thought Japanese women were good. Japanese women are good, let me tell you, but the way they smell, their DNA is so different. I mean, it's just amazing. Like, he's been there. I mean, I can tell you, he's been there. He's been around with Thai women. They're just, again, Japanese will take you in a good way. It's their culture isn't that much different from America. I mean, they understand you. They understand where you're coming from. There's a history. You can learn their language easy. It's a lot easier to mix and match. Yeah, I'll just keep it there.
All right. Do you have any more questions, King Sigma?
Yeah, my other question would be, is anyone actually in Japan right now? Because I initially planned on going during the Olympics, but the message that I got from Japan was that they weren't allowing foreigners into the Olympics. So I'm just trying to figure out, you know, with the whole COVID protocols, what's going on in Japan right now, because I will be going during the Labor Day week. Is everything looking good for that time frame or not at this point?
No, Theo's right, man. No, we were going to go to Japan in the Olympics too, but we decided to change our mind because the quarantine over there is in pain, and you can't go everywhere you want. Like, we like riding the trains, we like, you know, going all over the place. They're telling you where to go and where you can go. And Japanese, they take it to another level, man, when they're trying to quarantine people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't really be thinking about going to Japan until January.
Yep.
Next year? Okay.
Yeah, that would be, and they're not really rolling out the vaccine right now. So you let them get vaccine, let them do this thing. I mean, as Tony would know, there's still a whole discussion. Like, there was a discussion to postpone the Olympics till next year.
Yeah.
And I think they should have done that. That would have made a lot more sense, but they had reasons to do it. And so, I mean, it's just like a bunch of crap. I mean, it's like, okay, fine. Don't go until next
year. You don't want the headaches, because you're going to get a bad impression of being restricted, the place you can go, and that's not good. When you get to Japan, you want to be able to go anywhere. Like, you want to go to 3 countries, go to one country, Japan, and visit 3 different places.
Now, what you're saying, is that true for Thailand as well right now? So are you guys just saying that leave Asia alone for the rest of this year, or is that just applied to Japan?
I would Thailand.
I would don't travel this year, man. Just get your vaccine and then study some languages, improve your cash flow, things like that.
Yeah.
And then do it. I mean, I'm traveling in October, but not to Asia.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot for having me on IP, and good job with that Doja Cat video. I really appreciated your thoughts on that.
Hey, no worries, bro.
Yes.
Hey, appreciate that, brother. Take it easy, okay?
Thanks, bro.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's see what Theo, the legend. What's up, Theo? You okay?
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing. So one of the brothers was on here and he was talking about working in Japan, and maybe he's a software developer. One of the things you have to remember is make sure you have your university degree, and this is the physical degree. I've stated this before, I'm going to say it again. You have to have the physical degree for immigration. You cannot have any other replacement as an American citizen. So the only way you can get a working visa in Japan is either you're married to a Japanese woman or you have a degree. They won't give it to you any other way.
Nope. And the only other way you can live in Japan without all of that is if you get a business visa, and you literally have to be opening up a business.
You have to, yeah, it's hard as hell to do. So like, don't play, like it took me 1 year additional to get to Japan because of that degree requirement. Don't play around with that. You have to like, you go to wherever you're going to get your degree, ask them like, how soon after you graduate are you going to give me the degree? And if you already have it, make sure that it's properly documented, the verification that is your degree. And if you don't at least have it while you're looking for work in Japan. And then it's easy, like as long as you have that document, getting a work visa is pretty simple. All you have to do is, like, almost every company can sponsor your visa. So if you just get a job and say, go to, as Shinagawa right now for immigration in Tokyo, just go there and boom, whoop, there it is, it's done.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Theo. Theo, so are we doing a stream next week, yeah?
Yeah.
Check your Twitter. We are?
Which one are you doing next week, Theo?
Prague. Isn't it?
Ooh, I gotta check that one out.
all right, Theo. Theo, are we doing that on, let's say, so Saturday 1:30 a.m. GMT? That's my time.
I'll be ready.
So that'll be Friday for you, right?
I got stories. Yeah.
Let's go.
You gotta hear.
Brothers, got.
Thanks, Tony. Hey, Tony, you're doing a great job. I'm going to drop out. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, Theo. Thanks for
coming on, bro. All right, let me bring in Thomas Demihin. No, sorry, TCD. How's it going, brother?
Yo, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fine, brother. Thank you for calling in very much. I know this stream was of a particular interest to you. Do you have any questions for Tony Berry?
Yeah. So I had 2 questions actually. The first one was, I guess, which place in Japan would you say has the most balanced vibe? So I guess a more even vibe between kind of work and relaxation. And then what's the culture around spirituality in Japan? I mean, I haven't heard anything about like any kind of religion in Japan, so I'm just wondering if you know.
Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I practice Buddhism, but I know in Japan most people don't practice anything. They do practice Shinto, like during New Year's. They go to the shrines and they wish for good luck. My wife, who's Japanese, has no religion at all. She even though me and my son are Buddhist, but she's not, even though she's from Japan. So, like Theo said, you have some Christians, but it's very low. I'd say 10% of the country is religious. I think you were asking about where to go to get a good work-life balance. The best places to go would be in like the cities away from like Tokyo and Osaka. Like if you go to places like Sapporo is a really good place to be, man. In fact, Japanese guys are telling me that Hokkaido is one of the best places to live in Japan. It's cold in the wintertime, but the food is really good. The women are very friendly. It just depends on what you like. But yeah, you want to get away from the major metropolitan areas if you want more work-life balance.
Okay, cool. I mean, that's pretty succinct. explains pretty much the whole question. So thanks.
No problem. Thanks.
Thanks for that, TCD. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Let me bring in Thomas Demahin. What is up, Thomas?
007 in the house. What's up?
What's up, man? Can you guys hear me?
I'm doing Claire, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine, bro. Are you enjoying the live stream so far?
Yeah, man. It's all been good. Hi, Tony. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Thomas? What's up? How you doing?
It's all good, man. It's all good. One question I have is, we discussed this on Facebook. When it was one question IP asked. It was about the Christmas cake age. Is that true? When it comes to dating.
Okay. IP, do I have time to talk about this Christmas cake?
Yes, you can, but keep it PG.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be PG, brother. Okay. So here's the thing with the Christmas cake, and I told, as you guys know, I told IP I was married 3 times. So the first time I was married, I was 23, and my wife at the time was 7 years older than me. She had got me when she was like 30 years old almost. And then the second one I married was over 25. And then now the one I've been married to, my wife, 14 years, I married her when she was on her 23rd birthday. The Christmas cake thing is true. And the reason why it is true is because women behave differently in Japan depending on where they're at in their life. So the ones that are over 25 know that they've already missed the boat. So they tend to be more desperate. They tend to hide more stuff, like things like body count, things that they've done in the past, whether they've done porn or not, whether they were living off a sugar daddy, because a lot of women that get to their late 20s and early 30s haven't been married yet, pretty much at one point had a sugar daddy in their life. They have all kind of things that they start to hide, and the older they get, the better they get at hiding their past. Some of those women will tend to go toward Westerners because they understand that we don't speak the language, and it's a hard time for us. We have a harder time finding out about these things, so they reinvent themselves a lot. So a lot of guys, even in Japan, the ones that do want to get married, the ones that do want to date women, they don't want a woman over 25 because she's too analytical, she's too opinionated, and frankly, to them, even if she's only had a couple boyfriends, the body count's too high.
All right, cool. Do you think that this got me thinking? Do you think that the Christmas cake age is similar? I'm gonna try and keep this PG, but do you think it's similar to the wall in the West? So you know the wall. So let me explain. So the wall is it's like the Christmas cake age, but in the West, where a woman over the age of 25 is her looks are decreasing. So she's reaching upon the age of 30, so she's very desperate now to look for that high value guy, because women here in the West, they're in their 20s, that's their prime. So when they reach the age of 25, that means the war is approaching. So do you think the Christmas cake age and the war have some similarities?
Yes, I do, brother. In fact, some of us call it the danger zone. So the danger zone for a female is 27 to 35, because that body clock starts kicking in. And that's what us fellas need to understand. We need to understand the anatomy, not just looking at a woman's body, but we need to understand what's going on with that body. Okay, I mean, you know how the body works. Women are born with 300,000 eggs, right? But then as they get older, each time they have the menstruation, they lose and lose and lose, right? To the point that they get menopause. You have to understand how a woman's body ages. Then that way you will put yourself in a situation where you're getting the best possible woman for what you want. And to me, it's always, I got nothing against women that are older, but preferably I like them younger, because I know that they have a lot more chances to make children for me and for me to raise my children. Because it's all about raising the family, no matter what they tell you. We're not here to save somebody, marry a woman with 3 kids or whatever. We're here to create our own. We want people to look like us. And the better chance, the younger they are, the more chances we have of creating more like us. So yeah, it's about the same. Only difference is that the West, they will tolerate a woman more over when the Christmas cake is done, but they won't do it in Japan much.
That's a very good answer, man. Thanks. Another question I have is there's this like subculture in Japan called Gyaru. Is that how you pronounce it? Gyaru. So it's this thing when Japanese women, they kind of mimic the Western women. So they I heard some rumor that they're trying to mimic Babe Watch. You know the Babe Watch show.
I've heard of it. I don't watch it, but I've heard of it because I know they try to make Sex in the City.
The Gyaru, the Gyaru. So if you type it up on Google, so it's GYARU. It's this subculture where Japanese women, they like tan themselves and they like put on over the top makeup.
I know you're talking about, Thomas. You're talking about the Gyaru. Yes, the Gyaru. Yes, I know you're talking about. Yes.
Is that still a thing? Is that still a thing in Japan?
It's not as popular as it used to be anymore. I know. Yeah, you go to like places like Harajuku, and where a lot of Gyarus hang out, and you see Japan is interesting because you go to certain areas and you'll see that, and then you go to other areas you won't see it at all. Basically the Japanese, they don't care how you dress, they don't care what you look when you're off, they don't really care. They let you be yourself, but it's not as popular as it used to be. It used to be really popular, the Gyaru thing in the 90s, in the early 2000s.
Nice. So in Japan, and towards Japanese women, what's their perception of just in general about the black man? But it doesn't matter if they're from the UK or the US. What's their perception?
Well, I mean, they love the black man. I mean, they have the problems with African once in a while from the stereotypes that pop out and some of the bad experiences that they may run into. But they like all black men. And there's a lot of women over there married to Africans too. I mean, you see Rui, the basketball star, Rui Hachimura. His dad's from Nigeria and his mother's from Japan. So eventually, they don't care if they like you, they love you, they're going to hang out with you regardless. But they treat brothers good. I know that. Like I've been married 14 years to my wife, and I don't have any issues.
Yeah, man, that's nice, man. Also, what about if us brothers, we're taking a lot of the Japanese women, then what must the Japanese men feel? Do they feel like it's more of a competition? We have a competition with them, or are they allowing it? What's their perception of us black men from the viewpoint of the Japanese men?
Good question.
No, they don't have any issues at all. In fact, first of all, there's not enough brothers over there anyway. And I've never had in the 11 plus, living there twice, and the many times I've traveled back and forth to Japan, I've never had any issues at all. In fact, I'm walking around town with my wife. People don't even pay any attention. They just like, oh, hey, what's going on? They treat me just like anybody else. So I never get any kind of animosity at all.
Cool. So if I'm gonna live in terms of living in Japan, like utilities, it's like getting a haircut. Are there a lot of Afrocentric barbershops, or is it a daunting task that I have to cut my own hair?
When I lived in Japan, I used to rock the Philly fade. So I used to cut my own hair, brother. You will find barbershops you're going to find them near the bases. If you want to get a haircut, you got to do a trek. You got to go near the bases. The men around the bases, and the women, they know how to cut your hair. But for the most part, when I was living in Osaka, I was far from military installation. I had to cut my own hair.
I can't cut my own hair, man.
But see, brother, those are minor issues. You got to get over there. Don't trust me. That's not going to bother you when you get over there, man.
No, I know there's some black barbers there in Tokyo.
Yeah, they do have black barbers.
They do have that in Tokyo, Thomas Summerhin. But thank you, brother, for your questions. Good questions, by the way. Thank you, brother.
Thanks,
brother. Thanks, Thomas.
Let me bring in Derek Taylor. What's up, Derek? Derek Taylor. 5, 4, free.
Sorry about that. My mic was muted.
I know worries, bro.
DT in the house. What's up, Derek? I saw you on Facebook, brother. What's going on, man?
I know. Yeah, we chopped it up a bit on that Honduran that I was telling you about.
Hey, I had to delete some of those comments because that lady was in the group and I didn't want her to see in that, man. That was my bad. I got to put them back, though. I don't know how.
I put them back, Tony. We need those comments back, man. Those were golden comments.
I'll re-comment, man, because it was a good one about the lady. So I'll hook you back up, DT.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, my question, and IP, I appreciate your content, man. I appreciate the channel. I followed you for a minute now, so it's very good intel. As both of you know, I'm just getting out of a 21-year marriage, so getting ready to become a free agent, free agent lifestyle. Yep. So, my first couple countries that I wanted to visit was, Colombia and obviously DR and Brazil. But now, I mean, Japan is like popping off in my head. So my question is, going to Japan, like, let's say, what would you recommend 2 weeks? And when you say traveling there, what kind of typical budget would you recommend for a very good time?
You could go. I know when I first went to Japan to teach, when I was looking for a teaching position, I stayed at this place in Tokyo called the Kimi Ryokan. There's all kind of hostels and places you can stay if you if you're budget conscious.
Okay.
So I mean, I think I only paid at the time, I think it was like $48 a night and like 4,800 yen. And the last time I stayed there with my wife, I took my wife there. I liked it so much back, and I think that was back when in 2007, the year we got married. It was at 5,000 yen a night. So, and you got to keep in mind, Japan inflation they're in deflation. So things don't change much. Prices don't change. And it's not as expensive as people think. You can actually get some good deals over there. So what I always do is hit up Expedia, get the hotel taken care of or whatnot. But like I said, you can stay at a hostel too if that's what you want to do.
Well, I would be going single, as a single traveler. So I'm just wondering, like, say, what, 2,000, 3,500? I mean,
Well, where do you want to stay in Japan? So that's the thing. It depends on where you want to stay too.
First time going over there, I would say probably one of the places you mentioned earlier, where you have the hottest of the hottest.
Yes. Yes. Yes, you might.
Why not go big, right? The first time.
Yeah, you can. If I were you said you're gonna spend 10 days in Japan. Is that what you said?
I'm wondering if 10 days would be enough. I just want to get over there because I know the travel period, is quite long. So you want to kind of compensate for that. Yes. So what would you recommend as a first-time traveler over there as far as, time of stay and of course, a budget?
Yes. So I would, if I were you, I would do the 2 weeks, and I would do half the time. I'd spend like 7 days up in the Tokyo area, and then I would take the bullet train somewhere else. Like I'd go to even Kyoto, Osaka, Kansai area.
Okay.
Because when you get to Kansai, you can 30 minutes, Osaka to Kobe, 40 minutes, Osaka to Kyoto. You can travel to these other cities in that region and come back to your hotel on the same day.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, like when I go to Osaka, I always stay at the New Otani. That's where I usually stay in Kyobashi. And I mean, you can get around. So I would spend half the time in Tokyo and half the time in the Kansai region in that area.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll hit you up on the side.
Hit me up on the side, brother. Yeah, I can give you a lot of. Yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, you said you're going on a 21-year marriage. So was you married to a Western woman, or you?
Yes.
Oh, so you're getting some freedom. Okay, got you.
Hey, most definitely.
It wasn't too late.
Yeah, right. And it's funny because I realized, talking to this Honduran, that women are foreign women are very feminine. They just want to please their men. And it's so different from these women that, because I'm originally from Chicago. So I grew up in, Chicago. So I have a lot of street knowledge. So, I'm used to dealing with some of these, what did what'd you call them? Shananes and
Keisha's from the block. Keisha's from the block.
Yes.
Exactly. So,
I know how that works.
Right. Exactly. So, but, my wife was white and, so it's so different, just their mentality as far as, foreign women versus, westernized women, and Kevin Samuels, man, he is putting some great stuff out there. I don't know if you guys check him out, but it is spot on. It's spot on. So, but yeah, so I'll definitely reach out to you about that.
Yes, please. Yeah. And Theo's a good source too. Either both of us, man, are good. Theo just said Kansai. Yeah, stay in Minami. That's what I would recommend, Minami. But like you said, just hit me up, bro, anytime.
We'll do. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, IP.
Bro. No worries, bro. All right. So everyone call in if you have any questions. I'll be closing the phone lines in 10-20 minutes. It's pretty late over here in the UK. So call in if you want to ask Tony any questions. I can't stay too late because it's Sunday. Let me bring in Vincent, ZM, and I will go through every single one in the panel for one last question. Okay. Now, Vincent ZM, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I just got back from work. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad, brother. Not too bad. How are you finding the live stream so far?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's definitely insightful. It opens my eyes to things, and it just makes me even more excited when I head over to Japan after I will graduate for sure once from my university in business information systems. So some good things are headed my way.
Fantastic. I love hearing that. I love brothers, thriving, brothers, progressing, staying on their purpose. That's wonderful. Brothers need to focus on riches, wealth, passport, and of course, beautiful foreign women. Do you have any questions for Tony Berry, St. Vincent?
Of course. Well, the stream has been amazing because my preference is definitely in Japanese women, and everything that I've heard so far is just makes me so happy. So when I head over to Japan, the first location I have in mind is Atami, and I was just wondering about how Japanese women see brothers over there.
Okay, you said Atami.
Yes.
So if I'm not mistaken, that's Kobe, that's Kansai area, Atami.
Yeah.
Yes. So I mean, anywhere you go over there, it's gonna be nice. I mean, you don't have to worry about anything. I mean, like I said, you can strike up conversations. They're gonna treat you right. They're gonna treat you with respect. To me, it's like being in heaven, man. It is. It really is. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And so also another question of mine would be, how would Kobe and Kyoto be in terms of outworks?
Okay, so when you go to Kobe, okay, so you got in Kyoto, I mean, you get on that Hankyu line. Like my thing was I lived in Osaka. So I would get the train from Umeda Station in Osaka. Hankyu line is to like a little bit of a purple line, and you would take it to Sannomiya Station, which is the main station in Kobe. You get off there, you can go to the Injinkan, which is like these little old house museum, Western house museums, or you can just hang out at Mosaics or wherever you want to go. Just walking around in any one of those places is nice. Kyoto, you take the train from Osaka Umeda Station to Kawaramachi, which is like the main part of Kyoto. They got a lot of main parts, but Kawaramachi is like they have a lot of temples around there and whatnot, and the Philosopher's Walk. I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, either way, man, they're nice. Kobe got the nice looking girls though in Kobe.
Good to know.
Yes. Yeah.
That answers what I wanted to know. So thank you very much, and thank you very much again for this wonderful stream.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Vincent. I appreciate you calling in, brother. So I think that's it. Now I'm going to go through everyone for one last question. In the meantime, brothers, subscribe if you like this content. When you subscribe, hit the notification bell to always, so you never miss a post, an upload, or a live stream from me. So, and also hit the like button too. If you've just joined the stream, please hit the like button. Your likes will allow YouTube to push out this video to other brothers who need this intel. So subscribe and hit the like button. If you want to be a part of a growing, thriving Facebook group where you can speak to Tony and Theo, WAF, and other like-minded brothers who travel, who are about riches and wealth, feel free to join my exclusive Facebook group. It's a great, vibrant community of intelligent professional brothers. There's no Pookie and Ray Rays. There's no thugs. There's no dudes with 10 baby mamas. Just intelligent brothers who want to thrive and, you know, and do well and allow and pass on vital info to other brothers. Tony Berry has put very good posts in that Facebook group, and brothers need to see things like that. You know, stop wasting time dating Western women, right? Stop spending money on Western women. Stop being a lame and get on your purpose, get your passport, and start dabbling in foreign dime, feminine, beautiful woman. That's my Facebook group right there. Also, I strongly suggest you brothers to follow me on Twitter. No one has followed me today, and we have 97 people watching this live stream. Can you please follow me on Twitter? Because Twitter is a good avenue for me to push out my message. And you can also DM me through Twitter. So follow me on Twitter right now. I would appreciate it. I need your likes and retweets to push out my content. So follow me on Twitter and also send me a DM. Furthermore, I'm also on Instagram as well, and that's also popping. I post up updates through my stories on Instagram. So please follow me on Instagram. Here it is as well. Instagram is a great platform for me to update you brothers as to when live stream happens, what I'm doing when I'm traveling. And when I start traveling again, I will be posting a lot of videos on my Instagram and pictures. So follow me on IG. Again, I will be doing one-to-one call sessions with my subscribers, with my viewers, and that should be fun. 1 hour audio calls, sorry, I'm pretty tired over here, where we discuss what's happening in your life. How do we improve your life? How do we set up that passport application? I'll be helping brothers out with that as well. And that will be, obviously, that will cost some money, but it won't be too much. But I know you brothers will support. So the Cash App, the PayPal, the Super Chats is all coming. And the one-to-one call sessions with me over an audio call on IG or another platform. 1 hour, half an hour. We can do it once a week. That's coming very soon. And I know brothers want that. So that's coming very soon. Please be patient. Now, Zach Hayes, do you have any last questions for Tony Berry?
That was that.
Yeah, so IP, I just wanted to, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to make it short, be respectful of your time, but I just have to, there was something I meant to tell this brother. I'm going to make it quick. Basically, I remember I was at this park, I seen a very beautiful Black woman, when I tell her that she was extremely beautiful. We were conversing for about 5 minutes. IP already knows, you don't. And then out of nowhere, she just said, I went to public school. Yeah.
Okay.
And all right, and my question, and I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's the way how I was raised, but like I don't like women who work out or who go to the gym. Like I've always been fascinated or just attracted to just the natural, just physique. Like I understand that IP, wants women to like be in shape and stuff, but at the same time, I don't want her to look like that. She can fight me. That's just me. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah. Go on, Tony. Sorry, Tony. Go on.
No, the thing is when I was in Japan, I know a lot of women, they just keep themselves fit. They don't necessarily get the muscular. Women over there don't want to get the muscular look. They just want to be fit, and they do a lot. They just the stuff that they do on a daily basis keeps them fit. They walk a lot. They're catching the train, they're riding their bicycles. Just the things that they do are keeping them fit, keeping them trim. But yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy about the muscular woman. I do want a woman to work out, but I do want to say that you got to be aware of a lot of the women here in the West that work out, because once they get comfortable with you and they start working out, that 110 can turn into 155 quick. And then you'd be like, well, where did all that come from? So I would rather get the naturally beautiful woman myself. But of course, you got to work out if you want to maintain it, than to get the one that has to work out to get that body.
Don't worry. All she needs to do is a 12 to 14 hour fast each day, and she'll be fine. All of that other stuff is too much. But thank you for answering my question.
Awesome. All right, thanks for that, Zach. Next one I will bring in. So let me just drop Zach off the call. Let me bring in James Stone. Do you have any last questions for Tony Berry?
I don't. For my last question, I'm losing the black. I'm into black women. But then you mentioned something about half black, half Japanese. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you talking about? Half black, half Japanese?
Are you in the Facebook group?
I am not.
Brother, get in the Facebook group and see that post on Miss Japan. Do you know that Miss Japan is a black woman and the runner-up is also a black woman from Japan?
Oh yeah, from Miss Universe, right?
Yes, yes, and they're very approachable. They're not like these women over here where, oh, I'm Miss Universe, I don't want to talk to you. No, they be sitting in the cafe, man. You walk up and you can strike up a conversation with them.
They're sitting in the cafe?
Yeah, if they sit in the cafe, it ain't like in the U.S. where you feel you can't walk up to them. No, in Japan, and they got, trust me, they get more and more than beautiful black and Japanese women. Now, Naomi Osaka, she's not the attractive one. These women are attractive.
Oh, well, that's all I want to say.
All right. Thanks for that, James Stone. Much appreciated. Let me bring in DS. DS, I will allow you to say a couple questions because you're very knowledgeable and you're very passionate about Japan. So go on, bro, fire away.
Appreciate it. Thank you. You mentioned you were, Mr. Tony, you mentioned that you were married 3 times. If you don't mind speaking on it, what was the main reason for the divorces? Was it a communication issue or was it something, personal? I'm just curious on, if it's all connected to one thing with the
no, that's a good question, brother, and that's why I brought that up, because I'm always about helping my brothers out, and like I say, I got to talk about my brothers all day long, man, my people all day. So yes, 3 times. So the first time I was too young, I wasn't really committed to the person all the way. I felt like I was being manipulated. It was more like I was desperate because I was living in Okinawa and they didn't have a lot of women there. And so when you meet a woman, she had a high body count. She had dated a lot of brothers, but I was like, oh, she's a woman. I got to have it, because I was 23. You're 23, you walk around. But so that ended. I actually ended that one because I just got sick of the manipulation. I was messing around. I wasn't really committed to her. She kind of knew it a few years into the marriage. The second one, that was interesting because that woman, although she was a little bit younger than me, my wife is much younger, but she was a little bit younger. I found out in the marriage that this woman actually did soft porn in Japan. She was the Japanese with the really nice body, the suntan, the high maintenance girl. She did the sugar daddy thing. I started finding out all these things about her because one day I was at home and I found it in the diary. She had kept a diary and she just left out of the blue. I didn't know where she went. So I was looking through a book to try to see where she's at so I can call her friends. And she had all this stuff written down about what she had done. And so that ended, I think like 8 years because she had met somebody else. Somebody else in the Air Force. Wasn't making a lot of money. I wasn't satisfying her pocketbook. So she decided to run the other way. That was her MO. So that's what I'm saying. Those kind of women, you have to really be careful because if you don't know what you're getting into, you will end up getting into something that you never imagined yourself getting into. Because when we got married, she was like 26. She was already past the Christmas cake age, and she had a high body count for her age.
Okay. And my other question is, do Japanese women expect you to, like, 2 kids, 1 kid, or is it something that the male can kind of control of, like, hey, I'm just only having 1 kid, or you don't mind speaking on that?
Yeah, no problem. My wife is pregnant now, so I'm ready to have my second one. They will have as many children as you like them to have. Sometimes they'll come back and say, well, I don't know if, women go through a lot of things. Sometimes the body's like, oh, I don't know if I can do 3, or they might have an issue in the pregnancy that will say, no, let's not do the next one. But that's totally up to you and your wife. That's totally up to however many kids you want.
Okay. And then my final question is, when you guys bring up, when Theo and everybody else talk about, Osaka, when you say Miami, is that also connected to Dotonbori, or is Dotonbori a completely different place?
No, brother.
I'm getting kind of confused.
No. Minami is a big section, like a ward in Osaka. And in that ward, you have Dotonbori, Shinsaibashi, Amemura, Namba. And they got this long covered street called Shinsaibashi next to Mito Suji, the subway line. Trust me, Minami's off the chain.
And is there a certain section where, like, where, because I've heard a lot about Osaka, where there's a lot of black clubs where a lot of black foreigners go to, where Japanese girls are looking for, and I hear it's Osaka, but it's like I never hear like that that specific ward or like that area you're talking about. Is it like Adamori, or is it in general?
It's in Minami, and it's in a place called Amemura. So Amemura is American Village. You see all these like cheap boutiques where you can buy like all kind of Western clothing and see people walking around with dreads and stuff like that. They got chinko parlors or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it's right next to the Yotsubashi line, or you can even walk there from the Mitosuji line, because the Mitosuji is the one that runs right down the heart of the city. Yeah, it's all in Minami.
So that's really where, and I also heard about what's it called, Yokohama being a big place for black foreigners. A lot of brothers can go in there as well. Honestly, like for that good woman, you're saying that they're usually in the countryside, usually up north. Like when they leave the countryside, what kind of cities do they normally go to, or is it also it just varies?
Most of the women in Osaka are from Osaka. They have a lot of good women in Osaka, and they have a lot of good women everywhere. But a lot of people, when they leave their places, they end up going to Tokyo, because that's where the businesses are. I mean, the business is everywhere, but Tokyo, with 30 million people, your chances of getting employment are pretty high if you went to a place with 30 million people, right? So a lot of them tend to gravitate there. But what I mean by women from like the north and west and other parts of the country, like I always speak about when my wife's from Niigata. They don't have a lot of brothers out there, but that place is beautiful. The women are very friendly, and they don't have any problems with me walking around my wife and my son, and they don't even care. Everywhere I've been over there, they treat me nice. And I've been to 19 prefectures in Japan, which is a lot. I've been to more places in Japan than most Japanese. Because traveling.
What's your favorite?
My favorite is Niigata.
Yeah, Niigata.
Yes.
All right, yes, I hope that's all your questions.
That's it. That's everything, man. I just appreciate you guys. That's all.
But yes, if you have more questions, right, join the Facebook group. Tony's also on there, so you can actually post your question on the Facebook group, and Tony will get back to you. Okay.
Yes.
All right, man. Much appreciated.
No
Don't
problem.
worry, and also DS, this video will be on my channel as soon as possible, so you can rewind it back and get more intel from it. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks again.
No worries, brother. Take it easy.
No worries, brother.
Let me bring in Sai Chi for one last question. One question, Sai.
Oh man, I didn't even realize that I was still in here until you said my name. So I wanted to ask the other guy that was talking about the whole women body types thing, since you guys mentioned that. I wanted to ask, I know that there's very little obesity in Japan, which is phenomenal. I like that a lot, which is great because, obviously in America, it's a society where you have a lot of big girls thinking that they're way more attractive than they actually are, and it's just toxic. I can't wait to get my passport and get up out of here. Anyways, long story short, when you go to Japan, I'm curious. I don't know, it may vary from like city to city, whether you're in the city or you're like maybe like out in like the countryside. I don't know how it works, but are there like a lot of gyms out there?
A lot of gyms?
Yeah, like would I be able to find a gym? Like would that be hard?
Oh yeah, you'll find. Yeah, in Japan they have everything. I mean, they do, and like I said, they keep themselves fit. I mean, look, like you said, the Western women, 80% of black women I know are overweight. Flip that script in Japan, only 20% are overweight in Japan.
Oh, wow.
So that's a big difference, right? 80% overweight, they want more money. 20% only 20% overweight. The rest of them don't want nothing from you, but they just want you. Go figure, right?
Yep. Thanks for that. That was quick, easy. Thanks, IP.
No problem.
No worries, brother. Okay. Let me go on to Thomas Demihin for one last question. He's got two. I'll let you go on, bro. He got the feminism and social media stuff. So go on, bro.
Yeah. Yo, Tony. There's two questions that I have. Yeah. One is I want what's Japanese women's perspective on feminism.
Oh, sorry, bro. He answered those two questions already. So did you join in late in the live stream?
I think I did.
So he answered it within the first 30 minutes of this live stream. So I asked him those two specific questions. So if you go back, you'll find these answers there, and they were very detailed answers. Do you have any questions regarding aside from those two? one last question.
Okay. Has you did what's Japanese women's perspective on ghetto culture?
On the ghetto culture?
Yeah, ghetto culture.
Well, I mean, they're going to respect any culture. That's one thing about Japanese women. They respect you for who you are, regardless. They're not going to just drop into, okay, and now I'm all ghetto. You might go to some hip hop clubs and you might see them wearing their garb. But like I said, they compartmentalize themselves very well. They may get all ghetto and up there in the club, but when they go to work, they look totally different. You won't even recognize it. It's like, oh my goodness, why is this girl waving at me on the train? And that's the girl that you had met at the club the other day.
Ah, man, cool. All right. What about the 80-20 rule? What's the opinion on that?
The 80-20?
The 80-20 rule. So
he doesn't know what it is.
So here in the West, it's normally 20% of guys are desired by women, and 80% of guys are average.
Oh, gotcha. No, that don't usually come to play in Japan. They're very feminine over there. I mean, like I told them, I give my wife on the scale of 1 to 10, I give her a 12.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. You don't really. That doesn't really matter in Japan. The 80-20 rule, like it does in the West. They may think it exists there, but it doesn't.
All right, awesome. All right, thanks for those questions, Thomas.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Theo's right. Japanese women really can't get ghetto. Yeah, he's right.
Let me bring in Derek Taylor for one last question.
Hey, Tony. One quick question.
Yes,
so I think you may have mentioned this earlier as well, but are the Japanese women very submissive and, I guess, sexual, if you will, or are they very timid?
When you first meet them, I mean, they're very timid.
Okay.
Well, one thing I noticed, they're very submissive. The younger ones you meet, they're going to be more timid because they have to have a low body count or no body count. Like I said, there's still a lot of virgins in Japan. So you have to pretty much teach them a lot of stuff. I mean, they know what to do, but they know what you want. They know what they want. And trust me, it's a mutual agreement. But you have to teach them a lot of things if you're into certain things. Some people come into a relationship, hey, I did this, I did that before, and they expect that out of a woman. Well, you got to tell her and talk to her about it if that's what you want,
Right. All right. Sounds good. Hey, I'm getting that ticket right now. So thanks, IP. Appreciate it.
Wait till next year. Don't go this year because of the COVID stuff.
Right. Yes. Oh, that's a good point. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks again.
No worries, bro. Take it easy. Okay. Last person will be John Smith. Do you have any last questions for Tony, John? John Smith, 5, 4, 3.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, got you.
Yes, bro.
I was muted. My bad. My last question.
Yeah, John, we've lost you there, bro. Sorry, bro. I have to go now. I'm sorry, bro. We've lost you. We can't hear. Can you hear him, Tony?
I heard him. Yes, I did hear him.
He said his last question was, and that was the end. He cut off.
Yeah, yes, exactly. He said his last question, then he cut off. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it now. Thank you very much. Well, go on, John. John. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, John. I'm tired. I need to go to bed. Thank you very much, Tony, for taking part in this 3 hours, 20 minutes live stream. Your intel was phenomenal. I want to say thank you very much for your time. And I do want to have you back on this channel. Maybe speak about Korea.
Yes, no problem.
All right, bro. We will definitely set that up. Thank you. If anyone has any more questions for Tony, again, I'm going to keep plugging in my Facebook group because it's popping and it's a hub where we can discuss many things. So here's a Facebook group. Here's a link to it. I would say join the Facebook group, post a question regarding Japan, and then Tony will most definitely get back to you. So here's a Facebook group. Now, I'm going through my Facebook requests, right? there's a guy called Rebel Segai. I'm pretty sure I added you a couple weeks ago. You got the same photos. Do you have a twin brother, or are you a troll? Because I'm not going to accept you, because I'm pretty sure I accepted you. I don't know why you're coming up again. And there's one guy called Solomon David. Solomon David, you have no AVI and you have no photos of yourself. So I don't know if you're a real person or a bot. I don't want any trolls on my Facebook group. So you need to make sure that you have pictures of yourself, just so I can verify that you're a real person. And then you can change your AVI or whatever, because I'm not allowing trolls in my Facebook group. And apart from that, that's it. I see more requests and I will get through them tomorrow. It's quite late now, but I need to make sure you guys are real human beings. I don't want any trolls, no racist trolls and all that nonsense. So that's my comment for you guys. Thank you very much, Tony.
Thanks, brothers. Thanks for all the good comments, brothers. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. So I'm going to end the stream in a couple minutes time. I want to say thank you to the panel guest members. Your questions were incredible. Very good questions that you told Tony. I will say, please hit the like button if you've not liked this live stream. This was a very good live stream, and your likes will allow brothers around the world to see what's happening in Japan. You know, from what I hear so far, it's a hotspot. You know, Japan is a hotspot for brothers, just like Vancouver, Canada, just like Montreal, Canada. Japan is a hotspot for brothers. So, brothers, start making those plans. Get out there, making business plans. Go out there to meet beautiful, dime Japanese women. And yes, again, follow me on Twitter and send me a DM. I'm on Twitter every day, so here's my Twitter account as well. You can follow me on Twitter, send me a DM. Any questions you have, I'll get back to you. And again, here is my IG. Follow me on IG, send me a DM. I'm always active on IG as well. So I will see you, brothers, on my next question, on my next live stream. Sorry, that's how tired I am. So next week, we're gonna have another live stream. It's gonna be a classic. I'll be getting Theo WAF back, the legendary brother who gave us those two classics last month regarding Japanese women and Eastern European women. He'll be back again, so can't wait for that. And we'll get Tony back again as well for Korea. So that'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. It might be next week, Tony, but I've got one other guy who wants to do a call with me. So if he cancels, I'll bring you in, Tony. So
let me know, brother. Let me know.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, John. Sorry, John. Please join the Facebook group and then say your question.
I just have one quick question.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. It's just like, it's too late now. Okay, I'm super tired. So, Tony, thank you very much. Thanks, of course, we got one dislike. We got a hater here. Someone who doesn't want brothers to travel. Someone who's angry that brothers are getting the intel. You know, a lot of haters, but you know, it's all good. You know, the message will get out there.
Yes.
The message will get out there. Brothers will be saved. Brothers will get their foreign
brothers women. Will be saved. Yes.
Brothers will get their dimes. Brothers will get their wealth and the riches, because my community will allow us to expand that knowledge, get that intel, improve your lives. It's crazy. I'm telling you, brothers. You know, we can. This movement. I'm tired. This movement we have going. Hey, whenever I'm tired, I can't even speak properly. This movement we have going so far, right? You know, it's unstoppable. You know, more brothers need this intel, and I'm asking every single person watching this live stream to share my content to other brothers who need this. Please don't be a selfish person. Don't do that. Don't be a selfish person. You know, help another brother out. Encourage the brother to do better. If the brother is having problems with Keisha from the block, simply tell him, hey, bro, you do know there's more to black women than Keisha from the block. And then show him my video. And that video that I did 2 months ago where I broke down to keep away from Keisha from the block and understand that there's more black women out there for you. You know me, I like black women. You know, black women are my number one choice. You know, but I still like Asian women and other races of women. But number one choice is black women. So I know I can travel to Germany, Costa Rica, and get me a dime black woman over there. So brothers, expand your horizons. Now I'm hearing Japanese women are checking for brothers. I like Japanese women too. So I'm heading down there, brothers. And the fact that they have Colombian Japanese women, Brazilian Japanese women, half black, half Japanese women, Russian Japanese women, I can't wait, brothers. I can't wait. I need that. The soft touch of a feminine woman, nothing can replicate that. When you're holding her, when she's in your arms, when you're holding her hands and she's all vulnerable to you, she's hugging you, it makes you feel like a man, brothers. I'm telling you, brothers, you need to experience a feminine woman, right? A lot of you brothers, you think that fighting with your girlfriend is normal. It ain't normal, brothers. Tony Berry is 59. The brother looks like he's 38. And why is that? Because he has no stress in his life. He's not dealing with Western women that are bugging him. Buy me that Gucci bag. Buy me that Prada bag. Buy me that Louis Vuitton bag. Buy me that Armani bag. He ain't dealing with that. He's dealing with top-notch feminine women who say, I don't care what you have. I just want you to love me. Don't brothers want that? I want that.
Yeah.
Right? And I need that. I need that in my life. I can't be dealing with women who are constantly harassing me. I want this. Take me here. Take me to this place. F that. That's not life. I want a peaceful life. So when I'm 59, I want to look like 38, like Tony Berry. It's crazy. Yeah, brothers need this. Brothers, this channel here is going to save a lot of brothers' lives. Because, let's keep it real. A lot of brothers are depressed because they can't get the woman they want. A lot of brothers living life like a vagabond, going in different directions. But this channel will give you direction. This channel simply has 4 motives, okay? Passports, foreign women, stocks, crypto, and more things, riches, wealth, intel, intelligence, right? I'm here. I'll use my platform to keep sharing that intel, okay? So once again, brothers, thank you. Subscribe if you're new to this live stream. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, like the video. And when I post this video on my live stream, when I post this video on my channel in a few seconds, can you brothers please comment on it? Just say, great stream, International Passport. Great stream, Tony. You were a great guest. Because the more comments you write, the more the algorithm will pick you up. So we've got 84 people here watching. Can I get 84 comments as soon as I drop this live stream on my channel? I would appreciate the support. I'm off now. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna rewatch this as well. This was great. Thank you very much, Tony. Once again, you're a legend. Do you have any last words, Tony? Actually,
brothers, just get your passports, man. Like you said, no drama, no stress.
Awesome, bro. Okay, so John Smith says, sorry, Tony. He says, and how likely is it to find a Japanese woman who doesn't drink alcohol? Because some people have health issues regarding health. What? But so the first one is, how likely is it to find a Japanese woman who doesn't drink alcohol?
You can find a lot that don't drink alcohol. I know my wife doesn't drink. They'll try it. They get out there. It's just a regular thing for them, but they'll turn it off in a heartbeat. So you don't find too many drunkards in Japan. Let's put it that way. Or alcoholics. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great, Tony. Thank you very much, Tony. Yep. Get your passports. Get your passports. Book that trip. Get on that airplane. And just experience what life should be about. No stress. Having a dime foreign woman in your arm, looking young when you're old like Tony. Just keep it easy. And Tony, I will see you again. We're definitely going to do that Korean live stream. And what other countries can you give intel on as well? You said Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia. I did some time in Spain. I just traveled to Spain though. So those countries I traveled, Singapore. Singapore was nice. Everywhere I've been, brother, was pretty nice, you know.
And can you give us intel on the women there as well and how they treated you dating wise and all that stuff?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Awesome, brother. Okay, everyone, take it easy. And I will see you brothers on my next live stream. See ya. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, brother. Thank you. Thanks, brothers.
All right, see ya.